Yo, you wanna see something cool? No? Well, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Step into the scene! No, nobody can do it like me! Zoom house plate with the kick cuisine! I was the black top king! 360s in my green machine! I was a kid and I was breaking down doors! Listening to Tribe, now we on a world tour! We gave them hell and now we gonna give them more! JVB, Mighty Morphin like Megazord! Yo! Power like Ranger, range like Rover, strong bulldozer! Autobots roll out, hit the scene! Fresh wax on the paint, it's clean! Hold the gang, light up the tires, the JC's popping and spitting out fire! Never retire, stare and admire, my trip don't expire! Oh my god, that is fire! Shell shocked like a Koopa Troopa. Everybody knows that I'm super saiyan. I was born indestructible. Now I'm always going ham like a Lunchable. I'ma stay running, this view is stunning. My blood is rushing, you got me blushing. I must keep trucking, won't catch me bugging. I'll be Omega, end of discussion. Hula gang who? Cozy Coop, that's the ticket. Shoes, Reeboks and twos when I choose to kick it. Fenced like a picket, I stay glued and the style stay wicked. Swing through your hood, Spider-Man, Additional D, Drift Japan, Starving Wolf, Duran, green light, red light. Don't stop when I'm running like.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, I guess.
Never could believe the things you do. All right, hello everybody. My name is Jack Retros Yatsko, your resident Smash captain and Draven One Trick, and it's time! Hello everybody, how is it going? Welcome back for another fantastic week of League of Legends. Like I already said, my name is Jack Retros Yatsko. Unfortunately, I am the only commentator on this side of the desk tonight, as my co-commentator Pinsky could not be here. However, we are going to get some listens in from production director and resident League of Legends analyst director Mark Link on the other side. Yes, 100% super excited for tonight. But before we get into any further the logistics stuff, let's go ahead and meet the people who are playing, our players.
Might, League of Legends, and Nerf Smolder.
Chotini, League of Legends, Pick Smolder.
Pans, League of Legends, Buff Smolder.
Cue Ball, League of Legends, Buff Smolder.
Not even close. In League of Legends, Nerf Smolder.
Alrighty, so like they said, there's your team playing tonight, and I believe we are playing Tamusa. I am so sorry if I am to butcher that. Director Mark Link on our analyst desk. Am I saying that correct?
Yes, so tonight we are going to be playing Tamusa Esports, and I believe it is it's Texas A&M San Antonio. So definitely very excited. But dude, their acronym is TAM USA, and I think that is the sickest thing that I've ever heard in my life.
That is sick.
Just gonna point that out.
TAM USA. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, we're gonna be getting ourselves an exciting game. This week has been a week of UMWs, and a couple of W's that help us are our lovely sponsors. Just rattling through them real quick, because by now we already know and love these people. Our Fred Nats local baseball team champions. You know, gotta love our local winners. Support it. I'm from a big baseball family, so always love locally helping out the baseball team. We got Colonial Internal Medicine Associates, keeping our gamers healthy. Also, Skirby from Rocket League. His mom works there, so go in, say hi. And then on the other, Sporting Next Level, local nonprofit located in downtown Fredericksburg. Go check them out. They support both us for gaming and soccer, which you gotta love the dual
I am
sport.
so sorry, but we're gonna just absolutely cut you off because they started pick ban without us saying anything. So
that is okay.
All good, but it does look like, so on the ban side, it is going to be the Xin, Not, and the Cinder. A little bit of a cross ban here between both the jungler support and the mid laner. But for us, are going to be also, you know, a nice widespread with that Nocturne jungle, Lulu support, and the Katarina mid to prevent those snowballs.
Yeah. No, that's definitely going to help us out a lot late game. And immediately picking the Kaisa, where Tamusa opts over for Skarner. Recently got revamped. I forget what, VGU, ASU, something we do.
All I know is he tunnels through walls now, and it's it's the most annoying thing. I miss the days of we used to play the crystal mini game instead, where you just collect them.
I miss capturing the point in my League of Legends games, but they do also grab the Ashe, which is going to help out a lot bot lane, maybe try to rival that Kaisa. But we do get our jungler. We are picking the Udyr, and we saw what Pans was able to do with that Udyr last week, and we are going to grab the Maokai support.
Yep, Maokai support, that is going to be really, really good and give the Kaisa a lot of mobility to not only get around the lane, but also to really engage those lockdown targets. So we'll definitely be interested to see what Tamusa picks, probably their top lane. But from here on out, I mean, it might be a ban fest to the mid lane and top, and this will be interesting to see.
That makes a lot of sense. Going for the Milio right there. Just wants a little bit more consistent healing, especially with, looks like more of the pokey side of playing coming out as the Silas ban comes out. They do not want to
That
engage
is
in
a
close
really,
range.
really smart ban here, Jack, and let me tell you why. The ults currently on Tamusa's side would be terrible if stolen for us. So that would be no bueno. So definitely happy to see that go. We're gonna go ahead and counter with the Camille. Maybe their top laner plays it a little bit, and they're gonna also counter us with our primary top laner on the Jace.
Jace go bye-bye. But also, that makes my job easier because I don't have to commentate Jace. And Jace is a confusing champion if you don't know what's going on 100% of the time. But we are going to get rid of Yone, who I was saying earlier is probably one of, if not the most busted characters in this game. Just impossible to balance. Just shoots damage out of nowhere seemingly, and it just works. But we are going to see the Dr. Mundo top lane.
That might be
Wow.
the doctor, but I think Colonial Internal Medicine is going to help him feel better. So,
Yeah, Colonial Internal Medicine Associates, get on it. Do not hire this man. Do not hire.
Alright,
But the
looks like
doc is in.
I was going to say we're going to be going for more of the tank mid lane, definitely around the Galio. Now, Galio does do a surprising amount of damage, but ultimately, still going to be mostly on the Kaisa, and it is going to be the Gwen top, so we are going to have kind of a little bit of a split put, potentially brawl comp on that side, and we'll have to see how they look to counter it with their last pick as the mid.
Yeah, Cho Tiny did kind of check my knowledge on League of Legends last week, because I was actually earlier this week, because I was saying just like, Gwen doesn't seem that good. It doesn't seem like her meta. And he's like, no, Gwen's busted. They just buffed her items. So we are going to see Ahri mid lane now. Mark, what do you know about Ahri?
Well, the rumors would say that I have played quite a few games of Ahri myself, but in good news, I do know that Sean is familiar with this matchup. So from a good standpoint, I think that he should know how to keep his spacing and play accordingly.
Nice. I am excited to see this. It looks like it's going to be a very brawl-heavy kind of game. We're going to get a lot of engages top lane just because of the nature of Mundo and Gwen. Jungle is just going to be... It's just going to be a mess. Skarner is going to be able to go through everywhere. Udyr is just going to be ganking lane after lane. And there is a 2-minute delay, so that means you get to hang out with us for another 2 minutes before we start getting to watch the action. But that's okay, because that gives me time to catch up on everything that's been going on. Thank you so much to Real Zader and B Honeybee for following and supporting our esports program. I see you guys in the chat, appreciate it, keeping us company. It's just me and Mark. I don't have my fellow. I'm patting the empty chair right next to me. But also, thank you everyone for hitting our 460 follower goal. So, love to see it. Love to see everyone supporting our esports program, making it, lovely, and making these streams as high quality as it is for all of you.
Definitely, yeah. And I mean, a huge shout out also to Drew. I will say this is my first VMix production, and I'm gonna be honest with you, Jack. Feels pretty straightforward. Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
It's like OBS, but better in every way. For people who don't know what VMix is. Team intros were cool. We put a lot of effort into those team intros. I mean, every team that is streamed, which you can see right above me. Right here, we get Rocket League on Mondays, Overwatch on Tuesdays, Call of Duty on Wednesdays, my game, Smash, and Valorant, my favorite game to commentate, sorry, League of Legends, on Thursday, and today is League Friday. So we get to start and end on high notes. Not to say that every other day isn't a high note, but let's just...
All right, I am working here on getting up the pick band in game, and there it is. Boom, boom, boom. So just give me 1 second here, and we should be good to go. Unfortunately, apologies that it's a little problematic, but I had to reset the source, so that's a my bad. But ultimately, there it is. Boom. And now we can see.
There we are.
We can see as we wait for the next 2 minutes. I am going to leave Jack just for 1 second to check on some things, but we'll be right back in a second with the game. So Jack, take us away. Talk a little bit about that Smash win yesterday. How was that?
Oh, that's true. So for maybe people who are just joining for your first UMW stream, let me just say welcome. I am seeing in chat, Honeybee, our logo is the outdated one. I am so sorry. I have no control over that. I just show up and get to talk about video games. So apologies. But yeah, that's Smash win. We played Manchester University, and as well, I believe yesterday, Valorant played. I have no idea. Oh, Simpson College. I remember. And both teams were able to catch the 2-0. You're going to be able to see on our Instagram. Go follow us over at UMW Esports on all socials. I am lugging hard. We post basically every single week on our stories, all of the wins, all of the losses, you know, keeping you updated with the team and the players. You're going to be able to see that week 2 recap, also done by our broadcast captain, Drew.
Speaking of updates, just wanted to quickly bring to your attention that Valorant is currently in a 15-15 overtime. And I will be interested to see the outcome of that match here in just a moment.
I love watching those guys play.
Absolutely, yeah.
All
definitely.
the Valorant games. No, not Valorant. All the Riot games.
All the Riot games.
All the Riot games.
Except Legends of Runeterra.
Except Legends of Runeterra.
Because
But
that was a bit of a flop, but that's okay. That is okay.
I don't know. It seems popular.
Yeah, I would agree. I think more or less it fills that hole in the gap of, you know, kind of the card-based universe for them. But I am really excited to see the fighting game come to the collegiate scene.
Yeah!
Oh my gosh, everybody's been talking and loving on the League of Legends fighting-based game, or set in the League universe.
2xKO. I am so pumped for that game. My co-caster Pinsky is equally as excited, and we will be grinding that on release.
Oh,
100%.
Absolutely. And in good news, Jack, after a few quick clicks over here,
We are in the
going to be
game!
going into the match, and I'm going to get us all situated and all ready to go. Just give me
Yeah,
one
so
second here.
I'm just looking at chat real quick. Valorant W's, we love Valorant. We love Valorant. I've been casting these guys since our first season. Gotta love it. I love that game to bits.
Absolutely.
And there is a League fighting game. It is called 2xKO. Maybe not the best name, but it's still pretty cool.
All right, very cool. We are going to go ahead and see ourselves in the game. Jack, just for a quick attention span, you can hear the audio, correct?
Yes, I can.
Awesome. Sounds good. Sounds good. We are right away there. It's going to be a traditional 5-point start on the side of UMW, and actually a little bit of an interesting play here. A ward already potentially burned here on the side of TAMSU. I mean, that is kind of interesting, because what it could lead to, and look at this, a vision-based invade, and that is going to give them the information that jungler is starting red side, and that is going to help with their ability to track.
Yeah, that's going to make it really easy. And if you could see down here, Maokai kind of sitting in jungle as Tamusa's... Also, correct me, Chad, if I'm saying that wrong. Hey, sounds like Valorant's popping off. Tamusa is going to try to get a little bit aggressive bot lane, sitting in that tri-bush, maybe waiting for mid and tuba to push up. But we're already at first waves crashing just to make sure everyone is caught up. If you don't know what's going on, we have Gwen Dr. Mundo in the top lane. And I'll get back to talk about top lane in a little bit. We have the junglers Udyr versus Skarner. We have Galio versus Ari in the mid lane. And down in the bot lane, we have our Kaisa Maokai versus Ashe and Milio. Now, with top lane, if you could see those two little icons next to both of the character images, the purple one, the red one for us, and the blue one for Tamusa, those are your summoner spells. And neither team is running flash on their top laner. Now, Mark, why is that?
Okay, I won't lie. That is a little bit interesting to see. I definitely can understand the importance of the ignite on the Gwen, especially for that early lane pressure. And I mean, the ghost out of Mundo, but I mean, he still needs that TP to be able to be involved within the team fights. So it's going to be interesting to watch him rotate early. But yeah, definitely the top lane is going to be a lane to watch for here when it comes to fighting early. Now, he's thankfully going to hopefully see on the ward here in a moment that a gank is imminent. But switching just briefly to the mid lane, do want to talk about that, you know, doing a great job here at maintaining CS, and it looks like Caleb is going to be able to run. Dagger is going to go wide. The slow is not going to land, and we are going to, Skarner is going to crawl his little scorpion legs back to the jungle of despair. But switching back over to the mid lane here, pretty much net neutral a little bit shoved towards our Sean cue ball price, but that is okay. Especially because, you know, as a melee champ like this, Jack, really you want to keep it close to your tower, both from a gank, but also from a not punishment standpoint.
Now that Ari has those little fires up and immediately gone. But in that top lane, that cleaver was so important for Mundo to hit it right there. That could have determined the lane. And while that does seem crazy, whatever top laner is able to get the most mileage early on is normally the one that's gonna have the best results. And here we come, Udyr going into the mid lane, that not able to find the taunt right there.
I think it was more just a little bit of showing her, hey, you know what, you can shove in this lane and that's fine, but just know that there's some pressure coming, Jack. There's pressure coming.
Yep, and we're seeing a little bit of action bot lane as Milio and Ashe are pushed up a little bit. Full health on the Milio with both of our bot laners on half, pushed to tower, which is not the best position you want to be in, especially since Skarner is bot lane. That gives him so much more space to work with. He can come through that. He can come through river. He can come through our tri-bush. They can blitz tower if they really decide. But, I mean, we're just going to play it safe here. We're going to make sure that the wave is stopped so we're able to play through it and closer to tower. But here's Skarner showing his head, making sure Q-Ball knows, like, yeah, you're a jungler. They showed up. They pushed back our mid laner. We're going to do the same to you. We're going to keep this lane as neutral as we can get, because whoever scales first on either team is going to be the real threat in this game. Each team has their one champion that if they get too fed, the game could be over.
And I will say, Jack, I am a little surprised to see, well, one, Drake coming up. Let's go. Important and neutral objective on the way. But I am a little bit surprised to see the enemy Skarner going so quickly for these ganks, especially towards characters like Gwen, Galio, that have a little bit of a gimmick to get away. You know, a little interesting to see that the ganks are coming towards there and not necessarily the bot lane, when definitely I would say on paper that our bot lane has better advantage just from a default lane state than the Ashe combo.
Yeah, and I mean, with top lane, I guess you don't want to take flash because Gwen already kind of does have that E to make her invulnerable, even if for a little bit, and the dash to be able to get away, but no flash. Skarner can really take advantage of that, and with Mundo having the slowdown on his E and cleaver for Q, you just can like completely destroy her movement and really cut her out. Especially with Mundo, you have Ghost, meaning that your W is going to be able to deal a lot more damage overall. I mean, they're just going full tank because you need to build damage. And here's Skarner sitting in this middle bush right here, rotating slowly over to tri-bush. It looks like we're going to have some action down in the bot lane, but Mitt and Tuba slowly backing up. Here comes the charge, split up, and Maokai is caught out, slowly backing up. He has the HP to be able to live. Kaisa
stunned, and I think that we're going to be able to get out okay. I think, honestly, you know, I think Eric smelled it in the air, and really that honestly comes down to the fact that Grubs was started on the side of UMW, and with no jungler in sight and no contest, you have to assume that she's on the bot side of the map, and a really, really good job by UMW to kind of sniff out that the game wasn't necessarily towards mid, but bot instead.
But they showed their head, they applied some pressure, and now they're immediately going to take Drake right here, destroying that ward. UMW knows what they're doing as Ari's rotating down now as well. Maokai's sitting there. Pans now has eyes on it. I think he's going to maybe he's not going to try to steal it. That's just a bad idea. They're going to give them Cloud Drake, maybe reset for the next one. Galio is going to TP mid, and the brawl is still going on up top, but I think we're going to see Ari slowly getting closer to her first item already.
Yeah, and also a very defensive build here out on the side of Galio to keep that magic resistance. But one thing I will say is, yep, it is kind of textbook to give that dragon there, considering that one, Galio is never going to have a fun time in that lane. Given into the Ari early, you know, it's very, very difficult to find any damage to trade. But two, yep, that is the price that we're going to pay with that advantage, is unfortunately we're not going to have that mid-prio, but good damage here out of Caleb just in the poke towards this Mundo.
Look at Gwen just can pump out damage, and the same thing with Galio if you're not expecting it. Same with Kaisa. I mean, there's a reason that Kaisa's been the favorite for so long. Not only is she just getting all the skins every single season,
oh my gosh,
but she also does a ton of damage. You're able to build her both in AD, being ability damage for those who may not know, and AP being ability power. So you can kind of choose, but it looks like we're going to finally get our first engagement on the top lane.
Are going to see the
as
Ignite
Mundo
coming out
pops.
with the Aura, and it's going to be the solo kill by Caleb. Mundo, you might have Ghost, you might run fast, but you can't outrun those dagger blades. That was an insane good play to start us off. UMW 1-0.
1-0. Yeah, the needles really coming in handy right there. Caleb getting the full dash and having full stacks for that Q, dealing maximum damage plus a little bit of crit. I believe it is a guaranteed crit for the last hit of it, if I do remember correctly. And Mundo, no more summoner spells on deck, but we did have to burn Ignite for that. Galio TP'd the lane as well, so we are kind of out of commission for that for a little bit. Mundo, I mean, top lane's really where the crazy action happens. Bot lane is where like the game can be decided. So,
yeah, agreed, definitely agreed. But I mean, hey, from the split pushing, you know, capabilities, and honestly, based a little bit around kind of what the design of this comp really is, I definitely do think, and potential here for a little bit of a scrap, more of a do-si-do poke battle going on the bot side. But I definitely do think having those kills early on the Gwen and making it so that if Mundo can't match her, that this could get very, very scary very, very quickly.
But Mundo was able to find the first plate onto our
Oh,
top turret.
and here
Here
comes the Udyr.
comes Pan's gonna try to get the stun, but he does have passive up, so that means it's not gonna be a first hit guaranteed. They're gonna try to burn down as much HP as he can and maybe get a different status effect off. There goes the Vial, and there goes Mundo. Another elimination over to Gwen, making that 2-0 in the top lane, but a 1 plate down, I believe, on every turret. Nope, mid has 5. So top and bottom turrets are slowly whittling down as it looks like a duel is going to be brawling in mid. Galio dashing in, finding a little bit more damage, taking Ari down to half health and just chunking away with those tornadoes. I know Q-Ball is looking for that big play mid lane to keep him in this game and be, I am a relevant threat. I might be a tank, but there goes Skarner. There goes the ult, running away from the Maokai ult, trying to escape, not even close, is going to go down. And that is honestly a really good play by Tamusa right there.
Is going to be a lot of resources invested, Jack, absolutely. But thankfully, we are able to be transitioning it to our second set of grubs. And with us getting the 6 bonus here, and with Gwen on the 2 kills, this is looking more and more favorable for Caleb to be the split push that matters throughout this game. Did want to touch briefly on that little brawl that we saw from the poke damage side with the Galio. You know, I mean, Galio's
caught
now
out of position right here. Has to ult to
has
dash
to
out.
ult.
1, 2, and you got 1 more left, but she needed to pop that right there to be able to keep herself alive. You do not have a lot of health on this character, but you are able to pump out damage, which makes off for that kind of glass cannon type character that people enjoy playing her. And we missed an entire double play.
Production, what are you doing trying to watch the lane state of mid? It is instead going to be the Mundo that is actually doing a little bit of the plank if you zoom in very carefully.
Yeah, I mean, he's just down for the count. 3-0 for Caleb up in the top lane. And while our support did go down, Caleb's able to make up for it. And it looks like the first turret is going to be going down up in the top lane.
Those grubs matter, Jack. I told you
matter.
The split push here is going to be vital. And I think we actually, if we might see a Gwen reset off of this to start preparing for that next Drake spawn, I think that ultimately that is going to be the play as the team is looking to ping towards it.
Neither teams have TP, meaning so they can't make a play if Dragon is to come online. And it does look like it's going to be Infernal? No, if it's Infernal Drake. So maybe we're going to have to see what happens there. Here comes the Ash E just to give some vision as they destroy right here. Pan's being able to use that, and Infernal Dragon getting pulled out right here as Kaisa slowly rotating in. Again, no TP, so no plays can be made. Whoever is here to fight is going to see
and the fight is going to happen. And it is going to be Kaisa who is going to have to peel away. We are going to see the Galio coming in for the slam. And just like that, UMW is going to be up 1, is going to be up 2. And this was a really, really well-coordinated drag fight pinch. And that is going to result not only in the Dragon, but the disengage 5-1 advantage. And Jack, I hate to say it, but 5K goal lead, we're slowly starting to run away.
Ooh, but Maokai caught really out of position right there. Almost his life for it. But look how low Mundo is in the top lane. Really trying to take as much health. Here comes the TP out from Galio to kind of stop that push. Make sure their top tower doesn't go down. And Gwen in the bot lane going full send. I think that's going to cost her her life, though. If she is going to tower dive at Caleb, I respect it, but the outplay from Ari, I don't think he was realized.
Sometimes you just got to trust your instinct, and I think there it was a little bit of an overreach, but in good news, I mean, yes, while the shutdown does go to the Ari, I mean, honestly, Galio with almost a 40 CS lead in a lane that he should not really be holding a chance in is honestly a good opportunity here to not only equalize up items, but also we're reaching that point, man, where Galio, you know, he's becoming a third line tank. He's sort of a hybrid now. I'm thinking back to those Overwatch 6 days. We're getting a weird other, a kind of side tank here that's also going to blow people up.
Yeah, and now we're going to be fighting Rift Herald up here, already at half health. You have our Maokai jungler. Here comes Mundo again with that passive up, so we're not going to be able to get an initial stun, but I think Cue Ball is playing for that, just blocking as many of these cleavers as he can, as we are going to be able to secure Rift Herald, pick it up, try to bring it maybe in the mid lane to go for an ARAM late game, but here's Milio and Ash. We are now slowly making our way to the mid game, late game, I apologize. We got 15 minutes already into this game, but that could be enough for one of these teams to win it, and they're just gonna shove Cho Tiny right here. I don't think he has enough. Here comes the Skarner ult, not able to do too much right here. Maybe trying to find an outplay.
I will say,
no
you have to remember,
deck.
Jack, the healing here is oppressive, and looks like it's gonna be a flash, and he's a living.
Oh, he's one.
Oh my
Hands,
gosh.
come on, not enough left in the
not
tank.
enough. Oh my gosh, the
Skarner's
HP,
able to get out.
and the Kaisa almost W.
The
Almost
body
finds it.
block, but while Skarner may be alive by the skin on his teeth, so is Cho Tiny. Being able to pop the ult last second right there and live is huge for him. He's going to be able to get back up the full, charmed onto the Udyr, and now we're really going to see the fight mid lane. Here is where the scaling matters. What champ is able to deal more damage from their one item? Everyone finally has their one on deck. Looks like Udyr's really building in the AP. Got the Leandries. We have, looks like a little bit of a dual bot lane as Mundo wants to push up, just finding cleaver after cleaver.
It's a good old
chunking
game of
cue ball.
Mundo dodgeball, Jack. We've all been there before.
All been there before. I like to play it a little bit myself. Who's winning right now? It's hard to say, really, because we are 1 for 1 in drag, meaning that it's fairly even. Yes, UMW is at the advantage in terms of eliminations. We are 3 up. However, we are maybe about to lose a bot turret right here as Mundo gets big off of that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Which summoner spell is that?
Summoner spell?
Not summoner spell.
You talking about the rune?
The runes, yes.
Yes, that is going
Shows
to
you
be...
how much I've been playing the game.
Is
recently.
going to be the demolish that comes active on the turret, getting a little bit of that extra damage down. And we are once again going to see Caleb, Cho Tiny. He wants a piece of the action, and he says, I don't care how many of you there are, bring it on, and I'm going to try to heal through it. And I mean, don't get me wrong, Jack, he is dragging a lot of attention towards the top lane, which is allowing us to get that mid turn and also continue to pressure maybe towards the bot side with Herald for those plays. But I mean, we're traditionally getting to, we're starting to fall into that 1-3-1 pattern, and with the next Drake coming up here in just a minute, I have no doubt that positionally we should be sitting good.
Yeah, we are able to kind of get those. We are able to get those towers, which is helping to keep us in the game right now. And Pans wants to find an engage because you have a very strong bot lane right here to chunk either Ari or Mundo, even though he does have his first item. That gives him so much more health, and ult is online. But I think UMW is just really... I mean, Caleb's just getting caught out trying to push up top. I think he did get to destroy that tower, which is really, really nice because now that it's a kind of a free lane right there.
It is going to be a TP towards the top side with RE. Now, granted, this turret is likely to fall here in the next 5 minutes just from a macro sense anyway, but what does this do for their positioning towards this Drake, Jack? I will have to see if UMW looks to fight.
I think Showtiny realizes they are sitting at Ocean Drake right now. Here comes Skarner, able to get a little bit of vision. There's Ash as well. UMW has to group up because this is the Soul Dragon. So whatever dragons are next after this are all going to be the same.
Correct.
So you want to get as many of these as possible because that's going to help out in the long run.
And
It's
it looks
just
like
stacks on stacks.
And they are conceding the dragon because of the gold difference. They're going to try to make it up elsewhere, maybe with the top side turret, and maybe honestly with Buto going for a cleaver steal.
Maybe, but I think they just body block that and live through it. There's Skarner. They realize where he is. Milio trying to get him out. There's the Maokai ult, maybe to catch up, but Milio is just so far out, and they.
Oh my gosh! But those
coming out.
Those daggers, the damage there. I can only imagine if he gets somebody in close and just doesn't let go of him.
I remember when Gwen came out, people were just saying how little they liked her design. And honestly, nowadays, I love it. I always loved kind of that porcelain doll aesthetic, using scissors as your weapon, needles for the ult. It's a very, very classy character, you know? But now, I mean, just as much as she is classy, she's also terrifying.
Absolutely. And I mean, a lot of, like, I hate to say it, but, you know, that post-circa 2023, you know, those releases, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, I know I've been out of the game for quite a while. I don't know if it's quite 2020. But as I say that, the Tokyo Drift.
Oh my gosh, what is happening in the bot lane?
Why gank with your feet when you could do it with the Rift Herald? Thankfully, Mundo is going to absolutely sprint away. Ultimate healing is going to be enough. But can we walk it in for the next charge? We are going to identify that there is looking to be two in the bush. And looks like they're just going to concede to that tower with Gwen still pushing up top.
Looking over at chat over here, we do have one of, I believe, Tamusa's chatters, Honeybee's mom, in the chat. So we got all the parents. I know my parents are watching right now, so hello to my mother and father. They have no idea what's going on, but they can't get enough of my voice.
Absolutely. And you know what, Jack? I don't think anyone can. But that's all good. All good. All right, we're going to have Gwen towards the top side, who is continuing the split push, but has learned the lesson that vision is important. He's going to be carefully backing up here as the enemy team does look to rotate up. Baron Nashor is now on the field, which means if we do find a favorable fight, we could potentially look to full and hard engage, and we'll have to see here what happens. And we're going to be getting some vision control down towards Baron's side, and we are going to be resetting a little bit, a few of us off the map, doubling up towards the bot side. I don't know about you, I'm not chasing a Mundo.
I am not chasing a Mundo, especially a Mundo that is 3/4 to ult and also has Ghost online, because all that means is bad news to whoever is hunting him down. It looks like just the junglers are going to go for their buffs. You want to have as strong junglers as you can when it comes to a Baron fight.
Wait a second.
On the Milio, caught out the Maokai ult, and that is the support going down. Automatically a 4v5, and UMW is looking very positive. The Charm not finding anyone, and so is the Q able to rotate out as not even close. Does not want to get caught
as a
out
support,
of positioning.
You've got to clear vision, but at what cost? You've got to make sure you can tiptoe accordingly, because right now we're looking for Baron.
Yeah, hey, there's the Skarner right there, finding the sun, finding the knock up, having to flash out, getting
taunted and
pulled in. Big ult, but that does not matter as Q-Ball is able to find that. Showtiny TP from behind. Ash going down to Kaisa, and the Gallia ult is not going to be able to find anyone.
Yeah, and the ping is going to be off for Baron. I do like with the Skarner ult, it was not a you're trapped in here with me, it is I'm trapped with you, but it was sort of funny that it didn't really matter at the end of the day. This is going to be a Baron and hopefully a reset on the side of UMW. That goal lead is now approaching 6 to 7K, and at this point could be a pretty quick closeout here if we look to continue to stack accordingly.
Could very well be, but Mundo is pushing further and further in the mid lane, already up to that second turret in every single lane, which is, excuse me, is kind of scary, because that means every single lane is a little bit closer to getting pushed into your base. And I think that's Tamusa's game plan right now. They realize that the team fight might the team fight strength might be a little down at the moment, so you're focused on just hard split pushing, getting your advantage as far as you can in order to ensure that even you can maybe base race it in the end. But Skarner getting caught out right here. The root of the knockup. Already at half health, and Skarner's gone again.
This is a huge pick and good chip damage. And look at that. Look at that cannon. He's doing the most work outside of turret rage. And actually, if UMW is very smart about this, this could definitely be converted into an inhib. But that's going to be the flash engage by the support.
What an engage! Crazy find right there. But Ash is able to barely hold on.
Big shutdown, but we are going to get out alive. Are going to go 2 for 2 in the trade. Potentially not necessarily worth it, but both ADs going down and with Dragon spawning. But Gwen in the top lane, undisturbed, and that turret looks
Mundo
juicy.
is taking a duel, though. It looks like no more passive for him. That's going to be offline for, I believe, a couple more seconds. Gwen is just shoving this advantage for UMW. She wants to bring it all the way to that mini inhib to start those like big base busting minions to slowly make their way as she's making her way through red side of the enemy jungle, farming as much as she can. You want to get as much as you can. Here comes Pans with the engage. Cue Ball trying to look for something, but sticking on to Mundo. He does have ult. Here comes the ghost flashing out, the knockup and the dueling. Oh my gosh, this is crazy.
This is gonna have to be
Mundo,
a
is he gonna be able to live?
This is a raid boss down situation. How long can you keep the running man alive? But these stun combos that are coming in.
Cho Tiny gonna get caught out right here, trying to deal as much, but the charm is going to halt that as fast as they can.
Are gonna be 1 for 1 though in the trade, and it is gonna be the Skarner locked in the pit, and it could be the ultimate to ISO.
Here comes
and
the
it
Maokai
looks like it is gonna be
on the Skarner.
Team potentially, but oh, ADC is gonna get caught out.
The Gallia ult not finding anything. Udyr is able to solo kill
Oh,
Skarner.
good at that.
Cue Ball.
Bang. That was a great stun play by him, and it's gonna be a simple thwack of the Udyr, and it looks like it's gonna be not only a Drake, but a quick reset. But man, this is a brawl here in this bottom side river.
It very much is, and while it does look a little bit dire for UMW, I believe Cue Ball and Pans both still have Baron buff, which even though it's not your full 5 that you originally had, 2 people with Baron buff means that is possibly 2 lanes that you can strengthen to build up that damage, to destroy those turrets even faster, get a faster back. It's just positive. It's just net positives. UMW now doubling their eliminations. Pans 4-0 in the jungle, mid 5-2. This is looking pretty dire for Tamusa as both their jungler and top laner are in that Owen, they're talking to Owen right now.
They're talking to Owen, yes, indeed they are. But honestly, you know, sometimes you call Owen and he doesn't answer, which honestly is a little bit of how it must feel in terms of the top side of the map right now. While obviously we've pushed through to the top 2 side, Gwen here is just going to be able to find whatever lane she wants and just continue to shove. And honestly, unless it's a 3-person rotate jack, I don't know what they can do to stop her.
I think they're just really going to have to focus on catching UMW members out one by one, because that's going to seem like it's the only way to win those team fights. But even then, UMW are just able to manage their abilities and their ultimates so well. We have Maokai ult back on deck, Gwen ult as well, and Udyr, I mean, rotating through those cooldowns. Pans has just done such a good job, really shown to be a threat on this Udyr. And I mean, last week, Cue Ball wasn't really shown too much stunning around and flexing on that mid lane position. But this week, here comes the Maokai ult, trying to find Skarner, but flashing away before something even happens. He does get found out by the root. Oh, what a beautiful dash from Eric. Gonna get caught out right here. Here comes the big Galio ult, crazy
Galio, the savior, is gonna stay on top of Eric. And will it be enough?
It seems like it's gonna be enough to at least take down Skarner. Gwen getting caught out, using that E to make themselves invulnerable. Ash was on the side right there trying to find something onto Eric, but no dice. Able to live 5v4, and Skarner is just going for these engages, trying to give his team as much mileage, team fight after team fight, but he gets caught by every Maokai ult, every every Galio taunt, every Galio knockup, and is the first to go down. And to Musa, they just have to scatter because you don't want that snowball to happen from Cue Ball.
And Jack, that's what I'm trying to tell you, man. Every single person here that is the frontline tank on the side of UMW has some form of stun block. And at this point in the game, pushing 30 minutes, that thing might not be the longest cooldown in the world, but at the same time, when you stagger them one on top of the other, that person that gets hit first might not be moving the rest of the fight.
Yeah, that's very true. It does kind of seem like Skarner is playing a little bit more and more of a gray screen simulator, which no one ever wants to be playing in their favorite game, League of Legends.
I was going to say, sometimes you just got to take the cartridge out and blow on it, Jack, and put it back in, and somehow that can sometimes help. It's going to be the Baron going down. It does have a little bit of an objective bounty, but thankfully, it is going to be the attempted steal here by the Skarner. Is going to be found immediately, but does UMW look to continue the fight forward? They do. That support blink and you miss it is gone, and it is going to be now the raid boss Mundo suddenly decides, I'm going to go for a bit of a jog.
Gwen has now entered Blender state. Needless to say that each one of those needles is doing as much as, I don't know, like a Valorant headshot at this point, just chunking through. Milio just popped like a balloon, and I don't even want to see what's going to happen to Mundo's health bar.
Oh,
Here
God,
comes
it is
Pat
going to
with a beautiful flash, and Eric with a, oh my, the playmaking.
You can't forget that even though Kaisa's at ADC, she's got the dash the size of a Talia wall.
That's very true. Able basically to go anywhere from all map. Watch that Skarner pull. Here comes the Galio ult. That is Kaisa going to be going down, though, with the pull. Pans having to leave as well. Not getting taken down, but here comes Ari taking him
it's gonna
down
be
as
the
well.
resets, too, that are going to be coming here off of the Ari. Flash is going to keep Cue Ball alive. Did do some really good turret damage and breaking the enemy base. You know what? But with Dragon coming up here, I think that we can look to potentially force a fight and then look to end if the fight goes in our favor.
That's true. If we do get Dragon in this situation, we are going to be able to get Soul. And Mark, what kind of buffs does Ocean Soul give us?
Ocean Soul, to my knowledge, gives a lot of base regen on health, and that for especially these big tanks on the side of UMW can mean that if we get into some of those prolonged scraps, it really could be in our favor. You know, I mean, I hate to say it, but I sort of wish we had a Mundo in this instance because it would be crazy the amount of healing that would be done on him.
And I am sure that Tamusa does not want UMW to cap this Soul right here, although we are setting up for it. Pans on deck, slowly making his way back, but not there, so we're not going to be able to get a steal. UMW are going to have to TP around. We don't have it, and Tamusa is able to claim that.
They are able to claim that. Looks like a little bit of unfortunate back timing here on the side of
Mundo's caught off
UMW.
guard.
But with Mundo down, I think that this could be the march to end the game.
Dr. Mundo has checked out and gone home for the day. Because, like I said, look at this Gwen damage to the tower, and look at the attack speed. This is just the recipe for UMW victory. The knockup coming right here, being able to save, not even close. The dash in, Kaisa finding the double right here, destroying top tower, going down to bottom tower, everyone with Baron buff. And Nexus 1, 2, and 3. GG UMW victory.
Going to be the game, Jack. While the doctor must have left early today to go on the golf trip because that is a 4:30 clock out.
Yep. Full round of 18 after that one. Really just kind of very GG's indeed. UMW, I was saying that this game is really going to come down to the scaling champions, who's going to be able to profit the best in endgame. And Gwen, Kaisa, Galio, Udyr, that was just the recipe that UMW needed to really just bring that first game home. And now UMW are 1-0 up in the series versus Tamusa.
Absolutely, Jack. And I mean, I think that was an absolutely great showing from them. Really not a lot of mistakes over than occasional overheats on the tide of top lane. But I will say the occasional Kaisa positioning able to reposition with that dash, but it was a little bit scary on some of those fights. I am going to take a quick casting break because I'm not used to this, but I also am going to check in on the Valorant team to see how they are doing. So, Jack, just for a moment, why don't you tell people about, you know what? How are your classes going this semester? What are things looking like? And also, what are you excited for fall break?
My classes are going great, and now that my dad is in the chat, I am going to say that I am passing all of my classes. I am doing great. All right, we're good. We're going to use that one. Awesome. But no, classes are great. We're coming up on midterm season, everyone, so that means in order to take a little bit of stress off, why not tune into our streams every single week? It doesn't matter if you go to UMW, you could still support us. We love the schools we play against. I mean, we got a lot of friends in a lot of other colleges, I'm sure that, which makes the rivalries even more fun and enjoyable because that means we get some friendly banter in the chats. And I do want to thank everybody in the chat. I know I have not been doing the best of job in keeping up and reading everyone's messages and interacting, but just late game League of Legends, you just keep going. There's no stopping because something is happening every 30 seconds, it seems like. So I do just want to go ahead and thank STEM Teacher 1 for following and supporting our lovely, beautiful program right here. So, how's it going? When Mark comes back, I am curious to see how Valorant has done. Last week, they did get to play against Penn State, and we are playing Penn State again, but a different team. Mark, you just ran on back over here. How's UMW doing?
UMW is doing good. We currently find ourselves up game 1 and currently leading 9-3 going into the second half of Valorant Lotus. I will say though, maybe a 9-3 curse, but for me personally, I think they can close it out. On the side of League, the team is definitely optimistic. Loved to see that game and see how we looked to get into draft here again very, very soon. We are going to be invited to lobby. But yeah, definitely a good night here at UMW, and excited to keep going in the game too.
And Citron redeeming a get dirty.
Go wash! I can hit it. I still have it, Jack. I remember the days it was just me doing that, and I am happy that those days are over.
Happy those days are over. Yeah, from simple beginnings.
Very much so.
This beautiful set.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, the set that is only going to continue to get better. I mean, I'm excited to see how it continues to grow and adapt as well. And oh, I'm on Do Not Disturb, so therefore I can't get an invite to the game. Okay, there we go. All right, learning things about the League client. I don't play this game anymore, guys.
No.
I'm just a coach. It is what it is.
No, I slowly integrated. I made the joke at the beginning that I am a Draven one-trick, but that is so far from the truth. I used to play top lane. I played Urgot, Alawi, Volibear, Ornn. So people hated me.
But have you tried Amumu? That is the question.
Love Amumu. When I went through my jungler phase, I played Lilia, Amumu, and oh gosh, I can't think of. There was one more that I loved. Oh gosh,
Well, Amumu, Jack, just to give
Amumu.
you the little context that I know, Amumu is the Steve of Smash, and here's why. Amumu is the jungler that doesn't care about fancy clears. He doesn't care about anything. All he's gonna do is walk around the jungle, passively take camps, and heal every time that he's hit, which makes 0 sense. But when you then look to transition, whether it be into those early game ganks or those massive team fights, he could still make a huge difference with not 1, not 2, but 3 separate stuns in his cooldown kit.
that is true. And speaking of Steve, if you ever want to hear my my dissertation on how much I dislike Steve, go follow me on twitch.tv/retros1.
Oh wow!
Totally plugging.
The selfless plug. But I won't lie, I'm for it.
I have some strong opinions on Smash.
Absolutely.
That our casters do not agree with, but that's okay.
That
because
is
I am
all
but a simple K rule main in a world of top tiers. But no, I currently now play mid lane, and I have Nico, Zoe, Lux, and I will slowly be integrating Vagar back because I love the funny Yordle.
All right, and we are going to be starting up onto the draft here, starting with Tamusa this time on the blue side. Jack, am expecting very, very similar bands here, but they want nothing to do.
They want no more
with
Galio.
The Galio.
No more Galio.
I am so happy to see that because guess what? It is the anti-mage of the century, and I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, it worked out really, really well for Cue Ball. Completely shut down that Arian lane. Also banning the Nautilus off Tuba, who is a self-proclaimed Nautilus one-trick. UMW opting to ban the Nocturne and maybe go again. We might see them ban Lulu. Yeah,
I think it's going to be the Lulu because
right.
I don't know if you've ever been against a Lulu in a bot side lane, but when you get polymorphed and turned into a little squirrel and there's nothing you can do, it is the most infuriating thing, especially in this very, very bot-centric meta.
I am sure of that. We could see Tamusa here opting. Oh, they are going to ban the They don't want to deal with that. I don't know what happened playing that game. We were only watching it, but Tamusa wants nothing to do with Galio, with Udyr. They are scared, and I don't blame them because those two characters seem to have run that game, and we are going to ban the Katarina. UMW opting for the same 3 bans, but now Tamusa gets first pick here. And they are going to go for the Jinx bot lane. We might respawn and pick a Kai'Sa for ourselves, but I do know that Eric has been grinding the Kog'Maw.
Could be potentially looking into the Kog'Maw. This is definitely not going to be an early game. So if you need to, take a bathroom break, definitely get some popcorn going, because regardless of this draft alone right now, I can tell you this is at least 35 minutes.
This is going to be a fun game.
It is going to be a fun game. We'll be interested to see, though, do we take the Skarner? Because I know that David has been practicing it, or do we opt for one of the other more brawl-style comp junglers, and with that, where does that put you on?
That's true. We might honestly see the Amumu here if we want to build multi-tank because we do have the Kai'Sa, but it looks like he is going to opt for the funny Spearman. Quote him earlier. We are going to get J4.
J4, the Dunk Master. Actually, at one point, fun fact, started for the Golden State Warriors in a dunk competition. J4 did.
That is true. I believe he still holds the record to this day. And they do pick a Mumu.
Oh my!
They counter pick a Mumu. Wow.
This is not good, Jack. And let me tell you why. They have opted for the Galio ban instead of the Silas, which means if they don't pick it here, the amount of ult percentage that we could go with would be crazy.
The stocks will go crazy, but I have a feeling that they might pick Silas here. No, but they're going to go for Hecarim. If we do not lock in Silas, I am going to beat them up.
UMW, I promise you right now, I'll put my house on it. This pick is Silas.
This has to be Silas.
I am telling you it is.
This has to be Silas.
It is.
Mark, you are keeping that house. Silas. You have the Hecarim ult, you have the Global Jinx ult, you have a Mumu ult, which is basically GG shake my hand bathroom break.
Yep. Oh my goodness.
But now we have 2 more bans out from each team. We still need a top laner. We still need a top. Actually, I just realized, where is Hecarim gonna go?
Hecarim is probably going to be, if I'm not mistaken, probably their top, which is a little bit of an interesting pick. Either that or a Mumu support, but I highly doubt that we're reaching that deep in the past meta pool. But for us, it's going to be the Ahri ban. I do agree with that decision because probably the most annoying thing in that last game was the Ahri finding at least picks or damage onto the Kai'Sa. So not a bad ban there. They're also going to ban out Caleb's Ornn. That is a good decision by them to make sure that we don't have an extra go button in our kit when, oh my gosh, we have so many already. But we also look like we are going to be hovering the Orianna ban.
That's going to be
not counter the Silas or to set up for any Wombo combos.
That is true. And Yeah, I was gonna say the wombo combo with a Oriana ult and a Mumu ult could be detrimental to UMW. It just looks like they shut down in their early picks a lot of single target playmaking potential, and now Tamusa are really also opting for that single target, but now they are just like, they have Silas, ban everything else that could benefit a Silas, and I do just want to go, and there goes the double top ban Gwen as well. I believe that is the Gwen pick.
It is going to be the Gwen pick. Just don't think the confirmation button was hit fast enough, and it is going to be confirmed via game chat that it is Gwen that is
So
banned.
now with UMW missing a support and a top laner, who could we see Cho, Tiny, and Tuba opt to go? Could we see the Poppy support with the Kaisa?
Okay.
It's going to be really, really good right here.
Into the wall. This is an insane level of understanding here, but this combo could be really, really strong.
And real quick, just looking at chat, you guys can laugh at me in just a second. Thank you to Fourth of a Bushel. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Fourth of a Bushel and Jemit 5. Gosh, Pinsky's not here, so I can't put him on the spot with these. Jemit 5.
Do your best, Jack. Nobody's gonna judge you.
You know what? I'm gonna full send.
All
good. Jemit Slavrentivea.
All right.
Thank you for following UMW Esports and supporting
Appreciate
the
the
program.
follow. That must be a killer username to type in on a regular basis.
Just know, I say this from a position where my username is always said Retro ZZ, not Retro's the whole thing. I feel so bad butchering these usernames. However, that just makes them more unique to you. That just makes them more unique
Jack,
and cool.
But do you see it? It is going to be the Camille pick on the side of Tamasu, and for us, it is actually going to be the Maokai support, which means that Poppy
is going up to the top
going
lane.
to the top lane.
Going to the top lane.
All right, and we are...
This is going to be an interesting game. I think Tamusa, if they are looking to shut anyone down this game, it's going to have to be Silas.
Oh,
if
absolutely.
you let that Silas run just a little bit too free, if you just ignore him for maybe a minute, that could just completely shut down this game for you. And UMW, I think they know that. So there's one of two game plans. We win these team fights, and we're good to go.
Yeah, and the Akali mid versus the Silas matchup does mean that is honestly where we're going to see a lot of that action, because it is going to be whoever lifts that crown of, hey, I won this lane, is going to be who impacts us into the mid game.
Yeah. And number 2, protect President Silas. Do not let this man go down. Let him go 22-0. Because yeah, Akali, the assassin type, can just hit you with that massive shuriken and then dash from wherever she pleases, completely annihilating your health bar. But I also think it's going to be really interesting seeing all these playmaking potential with the junglers. We have J4, so that's a big group ult. And they do have a Mumu, which another massive zone of you are now stunned. So it's really going to be interesting to see how both of these teams play off of each other with these characters. I feel like Tamusa has a way more standard kind of looking composition. I believe that Hecarim, as we're looking at, I think Hecarim's going to be support.
Maybe I honestly,
I think it might be a Hecarim jungle, a Mumu support.
It might be a Mumu support, like I said, but personally, a Mumu support, while the lockdown is great early on, the thing is comboed into the Kaisa, and especially with Eric on the Kaisa, like I think he's gonna be able. I mean, we know Eric. Last week, Resident Twinkle Toes was
yes.
uncatchable.
Untouchable.
Untouchable and uncatchable when it came to those bot lane ganks. I mean, there was a time where he missed flashed the wall 1v3 and still found his way out of that. So definitely excited there. But I don't know if you have seen, now I know we were talking a little bit about the mid lane, specifically with the Akali and the Silas, but I don't know if you have seen but actually Sean Silas is quite aggressive. And with that, I'm going to be very, very excited to see it come out live, because there is a great chance not only that he plays aggro, but maybe looks for that cheesy early kill onto the Akali. We'll have to see the summoner spells there. We do know for the Silas, odds are 99% it's going to be the TP, but on the Akali side, it is probably going to be maybe Ignite, maybe TP to match on the side lane. But all I know is I am so excited to watch one of these team fights. It's going to be great.
I am so excited as well. I mean, UMW, like last game we were talking about just how each of these lanes is really going to matter in terms of the late game. How do we scale into the late game? What items are we going to build? How are these team fights going to work? The early game is the name of the game going into this game too.
Yes.
Just you have Poppy Camille in the top lane, which we're opting for a bit more of the tank build than we are last game. With the Gwen, we went a little bit more of the assassin kind of burst damage style. Poppy, we're looking not only to survive, but also just maybe chunk out with those coins every now and then. Jarvan's going to look for as much as he can, because he can chunk damage come mid to late game. Kai'Sa, I mean, we know what Kai'Sa can do. We saw what Tuba was able to do on that Maokai as well. But I think the star of this game is going to be the mid laners. Akali is probably one of the most flashy champions in the game, tied with Silas, every mid laner's nightmare. I could totally see this being a major motion picture.
I'm excited to see, though, the Poppy is the first time that it's being formally pulled out by us from Caleb's sense in the top lane. But I am going to be interested to see if he goes more for a brawl style. Poppy, one of those characters that, depending on how you build her, can really be either a nuisance early or just honestly like an unkillable ward that's just walking around. And I mean, even if that is the case and we're doing it more from an informational side to play more through mid to bot, that's all good.
Yeah.
We don't need Caleb to necessarily go 3-0 in the lane state for us to still find success.
That's very true. But in chat, let us know who you are rooting for. Let's see some Let's Go UMWs or some Let's Go Tamusas. Let us know who you're supporting. Get loud in the chat. Let's see, support your school. Rep your mascot. If Drew was here, he'd be screaming eagle noises in my ear by now. But that's okay, because you guys do it in the chat.
Yes.
I'm not going to do it because I value my voice.
All good, all good. And yes, this is, like I said, probably going to be a little bit of another 30 to 35 minute match at least, unless massive mistakes are made on either side early on. So definitely going to be a little bit of a long haul here, but no one else I'd rather cast it with, Jack. But with that, we're quickly approaching a 1 minute delay until we get into the action. The real question is, are we going to see the standard 5-point start? I think probably. Or are we going to see a cheeky invade?
I think Tamusa is probably going to opt to go for our jungle invade right now, especially with the Amumu engage plus Camille. Just that single target shutdown could be really beneficial. And if we're able to find that on the Silas early, on the Jarvan early, that's going to matter a lot going initially. Especially being able to force UMW away, take our buff, and then let them go back and take their buff. That could be the difference of a level or two going into that early game.
I will state I am also getting a message that states that actually the Hecarim was not a Hecarim pick. It actually was a Leona, which is going to confirm that it is not a Mumu support. It is going to be a Mumu in the jungle with the Leona as the support. And that will be all the information that we need in terms of getting started. But we are getting ready here to get into game. And with that, Jack, let's go ahead and transition in.
That is a crazy visual glitch, though, to show Hecarim. That's just insane to me. And we are going to get an immediate pause out.
Immediate pause for audio-based issues. I get that. I get that. You got to be able to hear those sound cues, especially in those cross-map ultimates. I mean, granted, there's not a ton of them on the map, but I mean, I don't know about you, Jack, if you've ever gone up against a good Jinx, but when you hear that rocket coming, it's definitely a little scary. It's definitely a
Run
little scary.
and hide. That's all you can do. Or get a teammate to body block it for you.
True, and you know what? And UMW is going to have no lack of those teammates with, once again, a more or less tanky more team comp based around kind of Eric as the ADC. Meanwhile, on the side of Leona, I will say I am very, very surprised. Well, actually, granted, if it was just a pro draft bug in terms of the hack room, now I see the Silas even more confirmed with the Leona old steals as well. But I will be interested to see, and I am surprised that they actually even took the Camille post because really with the ultimate capability of Silas, I mean, you can honestly, if he has Camille, can become a split pusher with that TP. And like I said earlier, when we did have to look at the summoner spells, it does look like Akali is also taking the TP, meaning both of them are looking to duke it out in the mid lane to start, but ultimately both end up in a side wave.
Yeah, and someone in chat, Skeeny Legend, has a very good point. Pings as well. Being able to hear those pings can completely matter in a team fight. A Baron steal, a Dragon steal.
Absolutely. If a ping is go in or if a ping is stay away, that can definitely make the difference, especially in a make or break game like League.
But it looks like everything has been fixed in order, and now both teams are cooking, hopefully.
Well, we will see. I will say it does appear that there is some form of a spectator bug. I do not know if we are waiting for the audio pause to be unpaused or if there is an issue. Are going to have to see about that here in a second, whether or not it fixes itself. But for the interim, let me go ahead and see what we can do on the side of production. Does look like, yep, and there it is. We are going to get some of that time back. I think the pause function from a spectator standpoint is just a little buggy. So happy that it all came out.
Sounds good. It looks like everything's kind of catching up just a little bit. Looks like we are going to have the 5-point perfectly. Our ducks are perfectly in a row right now. Look at that. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 just lining up the defense right there. We have the Astronaut Poppy skin, which is kind of her best skin. Oh, and that's the best Silas skin.
You know what? I'm a huge fan of Matthew McConaughey, but that is interstellar of a skin.
Ooh.
And comboed with the Galaxy Jarvan. Are we going for the space theme here?
No, that's the dragon. That's the dragon Kaisa skin with the plain old oak tree Maokai.
Hey, you know what? There are sometimes occasionally trees in space. If we've seen The Martian, you know they can grow there as well.
We do have the Project Silas skin though.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great skin. I love the black and red.
I know. Look at the dynamics on the chains as well. And honestly, Jack, we are going to mostly stick to the mid lane here within those first 3 or 4 levels because truly, I think that is where the game is really, at least early on, going to matter.
Yep, you are right, but it already looks like we're going to have an engage up in the top lane. Camille kind of pinched a little bit as Chotiny is going to be trading with that coin. That's the only range, I believe, that he does have, so it's gonna be interesting to see. Kuna is coming out, rocking that Akali scythe. So we're just gonna, I mean, this is just gonna be a standard game of ranked League of Legends for the beginning part before our teams really start to get into the nitty-gritty details of it all. But I think this early action is really gonna come out from Camille right here. Here comes the leg sweep. Chotiny taking a little bit. Coin coming out, not catching it, but getting the shield off immediately. Cue ball getting pushed a little bit towards tower. Akali has a bit more lane presence off the start, but Jarvan is rotating over to red side as Amumu has just finished clear blue side. His red side making his way up to blue side.
And there was a little bit of a jungle hover there, but actually was going to be seen on the map from the blue side as well. Thankfully, is going to be detected there on the red side, but ultimately nothing is going to come of it, more so hovering just for the presence alone into this Akali. You are definitely right. A little bit more of a push with the daggers early on, but definitely Silas here is potentially looking, you know, that this is relatively big wave, but definitely excited to see what happens here soon.
There comes the slam from Silas, not able to find that sweet spot. Now, when he does do that kind of that slam right there, you have that little pulse that you saw that deals bonus damage, and any kind of damage is good damage in League of Legends, except when it's happening to you.
Oh, and this is going to be a potential little brawl.
Oh, but look at that
Oh,
dash
but this
out.
is
Beautiful
not
right
good.
here. An immediate find from Poppy.
Camille going for the stun play, but unfortunately
Oh,
going
no grab.
wide. And this is unfortunate, but it is going to be some good
Silence
potential
with the TP
cleanup.
out of Mumu's one, the flash to catch him, and that's Mitt finding it
And
immediately.
suddenly the bot lane is here? What a rotation!
It's a full, we're having a party.
Party,
And everyone's
top
invited.
river, but reservations must be 5.
Unfortunately, it was Mumu's party, and he does have the cake skin, which kind of makes it even more sad. But that's okay, because UMW is going to enjoy every last slice of that victory cake.
And it's going to be the TP
The cake
as
is a
well from the Silas to both pick up the bottom wave. No resources going to waste, but also what actually really comes of this is not only the 2-0 lane, but actually also it's a little bit of a lane reset for the Silas. And what I mean by that, Jack, was up until that point, he was continuing to be shoved in, but now this kind of resets it to a more level playing field. And our jungler is sitting very pretty with those 2 assists.
Those 2 assists, and already our top laner and bot laner has an Olin to their name. So that's already going to help out a lot as we are going 5 minutes into this game. Honeybee going full out, supporting Tamusa with their Let's Goes per Gooey Nessie, and then the full team. You know, you got to show your love. You got to show your love for your favorite players.
Absolutely.
Can't blame you.
Do love to see anyone from Tamusa in the chat as well. Definitely shout out to them for checking out the stream and sticking around for this intense battle of matchups.
Intense game 2. And Cho Tiny has found their way, pushed up all the way to top tower, taking a couple trades from Camille. Half health, but Camille's going to be able to get a lot of CS from this wave. Not able to find all of it, so not maybe the greatest push up, but that does work out for us. It's a bit even right here. Q-Ball with the crazy engage. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I told you, it's going to be a bit of a battle there. Oh, Caleb almost getting caught with a second tower register proc because of that minion. That was a scary interaction there. If he didn't tiptoe around it.
Very, very scary. And I know Q-Ball is setting up for his big combo. He does take Electrocute here, meaning that is just more damage.
And he's hitting level 6. He blood in the water. He could really look for something here, but ultimately going to decide to play it maybe a little bit more passive, as our Jarvan is going to be picking up first set of grubs.
No vision on a Mumu just yet, as Jarvan is sitting waiting for grubs. Q-Ball looking to rotate up, maybe to find the big stun onto Akali right here. Not getting the prog. He does get the ult though. That is going to help out a lot, because Akali has just now found ult with the KDA all-out skin. Crazy back animate. Is that the all-out skin?
I think so, but more importantly, Jack, she is forced to back and will ultimately have to burn her TP. And with that, suddenly, you know, that little skirmish in the top side river that forced TP out of our mid laner is now equalized due to some good laning pressure by Sean.
Very good laning pressure. We are able to take all the grubs though before Camille comes back down. And Showtiny was able to get back to lane with a TP of their own, making a full reset. So now we are just on a completely even playing field at the moment.
And the damage is insane too.
Here comes Q-Ball dashing out, making his way back to tower. Akali able to pump out just a tiny bit more damage. But here comes J4 in the bot lane, picking one up the ult and the flash out. That is huge for them, because although Jarvan
is gonna give the thumbs up, understands the job is done. Burning flashes is important prior to the strike fight.
We did get Leona flash, but here comes the big ult. Mitt able almost to make his way out, but not quite. That is not going down as well.
Good fighting here from Tamusa, front to back, but with the Amumu, the flash stun onto the ADC is going to secure them 3 kills. The drag, and more importantly, a now 500 net gold lead against UMW.
Tamusa looks like they have woken up for this game too. It almost seems like they wanted UMW to kind of put themselves in this position for these picks, because they seem a lot more comfortable playing this game. Let them get the Silas, because we're just gonna let our mid laner take a Kali and just duel as much as they can. So it might come down more to the full team play, team fights than we initially thought for UMW.
Yes, and I mean, definitely, especially with a Jinx. Now a Jinx, not only that is 1-0-2, but is getting a little bit of a farm, you know, starting to farm up as well. Like I said, not quite at 30 minutes yet, but when we get there, it's definitely going to be, oh, it is going to be an attempted solo kill coming out, and it is going to be successful from Caleb. I told you, the Poppy never before seen on stream, but the damage on that character, and only with the sheen and armor, is crazy.
Yeah, that was really impressive damage, and the tankiness to be able to brawl through that whole thing and survive the initial hit that Camille's ult was able to deal right there, even making herself invulnerable, even for that short cast duration. Just Cho Tiny was not afraid, forced to stay in, forced to take that duel, and winning with flying colors. Look how much that kunai just dealt to Cue Ball. He's gonna have to take every trade with a lot more severity, but Jarvan is sitting mid lane right here. Akali does have Flash online, so maybe not the best engage to start. Maybe you're looking to scale a bit more, but everyone on Tamusa has Flash up, it seems, except for that Leona who wasted it, who used it earlier. Maybe looking for,
And it is going to be secured by UMW. Thank you for the quick goal. The flash stun dunk. But unfortunately, is there going to be, I don't know if there's enough follow-up damage from Caleb quick enough. David might have gotten a little bit too ahead of his bridges, and it is going to be Camille that's living on the 1 HP.
Able to just make it out.
Oh man, and this is gonna transition surely into a top tower with that much minions stacked up.
Wow.
And potentially even grubs. This is a hard spot to be in currently if you are UMW.
Yeah, very much so. Plates are going to go down one by one, and with Camille, the junglers now leaving, but look at all those caster minions able to take another plate. And it looks like they're going to be able maybe just to get the third, but Pans is coming back to stop this lane in its stop this push in its tracks. But 2.5 plates just like that, and now rotating to get another set of grubs. Tamusa are looking in a very comfortable position.
Yeah, and with that also, it is going to be the grubs. Congratulations to Valorant, who I've now just learned won their match 2-0, putting them at 4-0 currently within the start of this season. Is going to be some damage coming out here into the mid lane onto Silas. But ultimately, grubs are going to be passively given, tying us up at 3-3 on the grub count, which means nobody is going to get that buff for sure.
And before we even saw it, not even Tuba down in the bot lane did end up going down, unfortunately. But Eric was able to trade for it and find one onto the Jinx.
Which is a favorable trade, Jack, because ADCs out of lane means no XP, no gold, and therefore we can slowly get the lead that we might need.
Yeah, you can slowly bring yourself back into this cue ball, getting kind of chunked down bit by this Akali, getting forced to play by his tower, just having to keep this lane in check. But I think Akali stopping the back right here. Cue ball gonna try to take this trade, steal the ult, flash through, gonna get found out. Silas going down, Akali dashing away, making it out unscathed. Cue ball at that half health, just not enough to take the duel. Pans and Tuba just a little too slow, and I think the mid lane is now firmly in the side of Akali.
It definitely is. She has roamed and found the kills when doing so, and I mean, we have definitely lost an early game here transitioning, and now the job is going to be on UMW to neutralize this going into the mid game, and from there transition hopefully to win into the end game. But for now, I'm not going to be surprised if I see drags given, and we just got to stop the bleed.
Yeah, we just have to keep ourselves in this game right now. Only 13 minutes in, finally making our way to the mid game. This is where some of these threats are really going to start showing themselves. Tamusa just looks like they're able to kind of hold down ship still. Not too much happening down in the bot lane. Here is a Mumu with ult. Looks like Not was Tuba was able to find it right there. Pans is sitting here waiting for, and we have Mountain Dragon. Or is that Drake?
It does look like UMW is just going to be positioning, even if it's just for Scuttle here. Don't necessarily want to take a fight, but do want to ensure that we get that vision, and that is what is going to be the play.
Able to find it immediately going into the Baron pit. It looks like we're just setting up right here. There is yep, we're gonna have Camille is rotating down. We do have Poppy if we want to try to make a big play right here. The double back, Silas going down. It looks like UMW want to make a play, but I think they're gonna wait for maybe a bit more. Maybe they want to get the dragon and also some limbs in the process.
I think UMW was waiting to see if they could potentially catch someone on the bush camp and transition that in to the Mountain Drake. But it does look like that it is going to be identified that we are going to go ahead and take the Mountain Drag for Rift trade.
Maybe, but here comes Silas rotating up top. They are going to opt to go for Scuttle instead. Maybe a net positive for them. But the Jinx, the Jinx tried to go for a crazy ult steal. Just
I'd have to slow it down, but that was unnecessarily close and potentially a big falter if that had gone the wrong way.
We are going to get Hex Tech Drake up, Dragon, apologies, up and going. So here comes a bit more trades in the top lane. That huge honking Cho Tiny. So much right there. We're going to maybe see a trade up here if Camille wants to burn that ult. Amumu sitting up here as well, knowing that Cho Tiny is a little bit low. Push to tower if you want to go for those trades, just making sure. And here comes Rift Herald.
Rift coming down. Amumu might have a candle on his head, but it is no birthday, as it is going to be the first tower of the game falling here on the side of UMW, as Tamusa looking very strong and confident in the Camille split push.
Yeah, this just looks very scary. It's slowly making their way up. Jarvan is sitting up top lane right now with Cho Tiny, trying to maybe find something right here. Pushing through slowly, gonna go for an ult. Big ult over the wall, the knock-up. No ult being used right here, and that is Camille going down. Amumu able to make it out, but that is still really good.
To Major Tom. Looks like we've left one on the planet, as Amumu is gonna be TPing away and giving that one up for the Marsman.
A little bit of trades coming mid. Akali taking a little bit of damage as Cue Ball just getting chunked 1-for-1, it seems. Akali is now at the point where whatever trades you take with her are going to be life or loss scenarios. So Cue Ball is going to have to play very safe with his team. He's going to have to play around his jungler, who does not have ult online just yet. But here comes Akali, the ult, and look at the chunk.
Do have to be careful. Yeah, I mean, Akali is in the range where, you know, Jarvan not quite tanky enough, are building towards magic resist items, recognizing that the Akali is going to be a problem into this mid game. However, still not chunky enough, and oh my gosh, is going to have to be a full reset here on the side of UMW. This is very scary to fight over in terms of this Scuttle. Could be a potential engage by Not. It does look like it is.
Here comes the Maokai ult.
Oh, and there it is. It is going to be a quick pickup. Not enough transitionary, but it is going to have to be Eric that looks like he might have to concede pressure on this tower if we're worried about getting dived.
A very good rotate by UMW to ensure that we don't go down, but we're still able to find one onto the Camille. Kind of seems like top lane might be one, but Poppy, not really a character that you see doing a lot of damage. More of just kind of like that consistent source of little bits of damage.
And
but getting Amumu
is going to be found.
No
I mean, a
flash.
good four-man ult, but ultimately nobody to follow up with, and that is going to transition nicely to a mid lane turret here for UMW.
Panda Gamer 5225 with the I love you Cho Tiny. Definitely found his biggest fan out here. Well, I mean, yeah, how can you blame him? He has been putting on a real show these past 2 weeks, showing what a menace he is up in the top lane now. I'm pretty sure UMW are going to want to hard shove this. yeah, they're going to be able to probably take the second tower right here as Tamusa are forced to find an answer for it.
Yeah, this second tower is going to fall. Really good zoning positioning here on the side of UMW to keep the Camille from being able to defend solo, recognizing that the push bot lane is going to trade a turret that was already pretty low. But honestly, from a gold lead standpoint, UMW doing a good job of bringing it back to equalization here with that macro decision.
Yeah, just keeping it as even as possible right now. Q-Ball is kind of had a tough time in lane. Just constantly being a threat, but also threatened by Tamusa. He knows that he is a prime target, and while still being 0-1, he's able to do a lot of damage, but Silas is never out of the game.
Silas is never out of the game and only gets tankier as you go. But on the good side here, you know, we do have a healthy 3-1 advantage onto our ADC. Yeah, ultimately it's just going to have to be a little bit of some cleaner league that comes out on the side of everybody. Entering 20 minutes, but still, Jinx, enemy carry, really. Only still closing in on 2 items here. Is going to be a while before we see her online. But the other question is, you know, what ults can we steal in the interim? How can we make the plays work?
Very true. And I do just want to mention maybe an unsung hero throughout these last these 2 weeks of, Tuba has done such a phenomenal job as a support with these Maokai ults, making it seem like they are uncounterable. The great ult from Jarvan as well. Akali dashing in, and this is bad news bears for UMW.
That is some crazy AoE dash damage there by the Akali, cleaning up UMW. What looked like a really promising pick, but ultimately turned into a blunder, and it is going to be Tamusa sprinting towards the Baron, and I don't think we're going to be able to contest.
No, it looks like every from UMW is still stuck in cooldowns right now. Tamusa appear to be getting this for free while we were able to find one onto the Leona. I just don't think it's enough. We do have Poppy maybe there for it, but I don't think Showtiny is going to be one to contest.
No,
you just have to let them take
no sort
this.
of ranged ability here. That is going to be Baron buff going over, and just like that, what was a 600 gold turns into a 3,000.
And just like that, we're now in the late stages of this game. This is where we're really going to start to see the stars of the show shine brighter and brighter, and it looks like that that North Star for Tamusa is going to be Akali. Just seeing how much damage she was able to pump out. Jinx able to kite. It must be a very windy day out in the Rift, because Jinx is kiting like no tomorrow. Q-Ball taking a little bit of a trade in mid lane, finding some damage on Akali, not even close, and Mid are down there if they want to take this. Ooh, opting for the ult right there, getting rooted, and that is Akali going down. Big shutdown over to Eric.
Big shutdown. 400 gold is more than enough for another part of an item onto the ADC. Are going to be with top lane now as we look to prevent the splint push Baron. And we are going to also still defend mid. Doing a good job here, even though we recognize that Baron has been taken, which means it is going to be easier for the enemies to push into our turrets. Doing a good job of still defending those that matter.
Camille up in the top lane is so scary against Poppy, because each one of those Qs just take a chunk of her health. So no matter how much you try to survive it, the big ult!
And if you blink, you missed it in the NBA 2024 dunk contest. Amumu just got absolutely plastered.
And there goes the bottom-most turret now. UMW are going to try to fight this as much as possible. Kaisa dashing in, Jarvan opting to fight as well. That is Eric going to be going down, and not even close as well. And what looked so great turned so sour so fast.
I saw the vision there, Jack, on the side of Eric with Akali, forcing the uncancelable TP into behind them. If you fight for it together, there is a chance you can clean it up in time to turn around, but ultimately you have to ask if it was just an overstay post-turret and post-Amumu.
Yeah. They did get the turret in the end. but I thought UMW were going to run with as much as they had, tried to get out, maybe fight the next fight, but now you're forced a hard reset. You just steepened that 3,000 gold deficit that you have in the long run. And while drag is coming up in just a little bit, I believe you have to fight for it, because now I'm pretty sure all of Baron buff for Tamusa is gone. Nope, Leona's still holding on to it. I believe Jinx
soon,
as well.
Soon to be gone.
Soon to be gone. Just very, very scary stuff. We are going to have to see the fight for Hex Tech, because this is what's going to be really, really important. Jinx trying to find... Maybe here comes the ult, so something is going to get cooking for UMW. Rooting them all. Here comes Tiny getting stunned.
Is going to be a lot of damage here out onto Caleb, and it is going to be followed up by the Akali. I hate to say it, but the fight was written before it even turned the page. Is going to be a full disengage here on the side of UMW. Hard to watch from the boys, but I see, once again, I'm seeing the vision with these plays, Jack. They're just not going the right way.
Yeah, I mean, UMW are taking the fights that they need to take. They are challenging Dragon. They were going to challenge Baron if they even won that, but it's just too much damage. It's too much damage. Tamusa is able to pump out as so much, and while we are able to find a lot of mileage off of that Jarvan ult, off of that Maokai ult, those couple seconds that they're not able to act are just enough for us to make a play. The second they're off of those cooldowns, it just turns into a rain and an entire deletion of a health bar.
Yes, and here it is. It does look like UMW is once again going to step up to the plate of at least challenging for our blue buff, but potentially, and maybe with the smart decision of giving the Dragon, there is a chance that we are going to concede this. It does look like the laners are understanding this, with Poppy heading towards the top side.
Yeah, you just have to hard push. Top lane has been lost at this point. It is very difficult. Yep, looking in the chat, only inhib turrets remain. Panda Gamer with a y'all got this for UMW, supporting his boy Cho Tiny. UMW is very much down in
Look
the
at that
grand
recall
scheme of,
animation.
Wow. That is a budget.
that is something that I have honestly, I don't think I've ever seen that Leona skin before, but that was honestly a delight to watch. I'm happy I saw that.
Yeah. Just getting a quick tab check. Let's take a look at these bounties right now. I mean, what is that? 200 gold on Akali.
Yep.
450 on Jinx.
Yep.
And Q-Ball sitting 0-3 in the mid lane. Eric is down at the bottom, almost 250 CS with 6-3. He is looking like the hard carry for UMW. We just need one more player to step up.
Is it enough damage? Yes, I mean, definitely excited here. There is still very, very good lockdown potential with the comp on the side of UMW. But honestly, at this point, if it's not the Akali, you have to ask, is it worth it? You know, you got to take him off of the table in a fight-based situation. Failure to do so means anyone explodes.
Yeah, Baron Nash are back up. Buffs are completely gone. Both teams have full red and blue buffs now. This is going to be a fight that matters and decides the course of this game. UMW grouping up. Here comes Camille dashing in, and it looks like the engage is going to come off of that. Rooted, stun, big ult, but a returning ult from Maokai. That's going to be Jarvan going down. Finding him with a returning ult from Silas right there. Not finding anyone. Cho Tiny dashing in, going down to a Mumu, and it is looking lights out for UMW. They're going to walk over to Baron.
It does look
Full
like Baron
5.
is going to be the play. Full 5 alive, absolutely, Jack. And I mean, all of these fights really, more than anything, are just slow trickles. You know, nickels in the pot here that are slowly tipping the scales in Tamusa's favor. I mean, they've been playing excellently, especially recognizing the strength of this Akali to be rotating accordingly. It is going to be a full team reset here as we look to just turtle, honestly, for the next 15 minutes.
Yeah, we're really just going to have to play for time, play for money, ensure that we're able to get our full builds at around the same time that Tamusa is, but I think as every minute slowly ticks down as we're making our way to full 20, we're making our way to 28:30. this is definitely looking like we're going to be seeing a Game 3 out for UMW League of Legends.
Yes, potentially here, and especially as it does appear that Tamusa is slowly grouping as 4 in the mid lane. And I mean, with this stacked Jinx and with the Akali, it honestly is a 4 versus 5 that I would put in their favor. Camille staying towards the top side to continue to apply pressure in the pinch situation. And we'll have to see here whether we decide to click the go button and kind of coin flip the game.
Yeah, I'm just curious what UMW's like hard game plan for this is, because you are just getting out damaged. I mean, Poppy is your tank in this scenario. How they are chunking her quarter by quarter, every single stun it seems like, and Camille just does a half health bar with every single cleave. So UMW, when it comes to the team fight, but you can't play too close together because of a Mumu ult. I hate to say it, but it seems like Tamusa just have this one just fully in the bag.
Yeah, like I said, we will have to see where the coin flip lies. At some point, you cannot concede, and I believe that it could be for this top tower here, and it is going to be the flash engage. This is going to be the fight that determines it. It is going to be ults coming out awry, but ultimately, it is going to be UMW falling just purely on damage alone. Unfortunately, unable to kind of keep up with those hard set carries. That is going to be the ace. That is going to be the Nexus turns down, and a GG called out on the side of UMW. Jack, your thoughts?
It seemed like that was the position that UMW could have brought it back. That flash engage, the Jarvan ult coming out, just so much was able to happen in that moment to ensure that UMW could have brought that back. But unfortunately, Tamusa was able to scale earlier, be able to work off of everything a lot earlier, and that secured them that game too.
Absolutely, yeah. And like I said, I mean, you hate to say it, but it really was, in the end, the battle of that mid lane first 10 minutes.
Are we transitioned?
Huh?
Are we transitioned?
Oh, should be. There you go.
There we go.
Misclick on the side of
Hello!
production. Very, very perfect. Yes, absolutely. Sorry about that. Working on getting the draft posted in the link section. But no, really, Jack, it came down, like I said, to that first 10 minutes in the mid lane. You know, Akali 3-0 on the back, good goal advantage. And from there, it's just a matter of how do you stop her?
Yeah. Once she got going, she could not be stopped. UMW did not have a solid answer for it. And while Silas could have been there, I think it's just the Akali outplay that really mattered the most, and especially with a Mumu, that single target point shutdown, being able team fight after team fight, and then he hit 6, and then the team fights just started really going over into one side. The Udyr being gone, the Ornn being gone, those are a lot of very crucial picks.
Sure.
That Tamusa was able to shut down for UMW and able to pick up that game too. And we had some good ones as well. We had some important We did
have some good important finds, especially onto, honestly, the Amumu and the Akali. The 400 gold shutdown in the bot side of the map just wasn't able to transition it into enough. Jack, I am tired. The voice box is gone. I'm not used to this much talking.
Yeah.
But I will say I'm going to go fill up my water. Does yours need to be filled up by
I'm
chance?
going to go fill up mine as well.
Awesome. Well, you know what? We are just going to go ahead and I guess have an empty desk at the moment because, to be honest, looking around, I do not see any sort of a BRB screen, which is definitely something we need to invest in.
We need to invest in,
on
but
that side.
If we want to take turns talking to our lovely chat,
Sure.
you go first.
Sounds
I'll stay
good.
here.
I'll go first.
Talk with
Absolutely.
everyone.
Here you go. I went to go check the Val stuff, so be my guest, Jack. I'll keep us company for sure.
Awesome. Actually, my water's fine. I can chill.
Nah, all good. Why don't you go get mine, get a break, get a stretch in, and then I will make sure to talk a little bit about my league experience. Obviously, a little bit for me here, you know, behind the desk today, not really front of house in terms of prod. It's been interesting. It's been fun. You know, I haven't gotten to do this in a while since the elden days of UMW Esports programs beginning. But for me, League, a game that I was first introduced to a long time ago. You know, when I was in high school, and then basically from there transitioned into playing it a little bit collegiately and kind of getting both a club developed into a program. But honestly, it's been a love-hate relationship, Jack. I'll say that of me with this game. There's been times where I can't stand it, and then there's times where I can't stand without it. But it does look like the pick ban link is going to be going live, so we can definitely transition over to that here in just 1 second. All right,
Sounds
here
good.
we go.
And if you are just joining us right now, it is 1-1 University of Mary Washington versus. You want to give us the full name?
Texas A&M San Antonio with once again TAM USA. It's just the acronym I think is next level.
TAM USA. I've been saying Tamusa. I am sure y'all got to start using that. Y'all got to start using that. I'm giving that one. You're getting that one for free. You're welcome. From my horrible pronunciations. Funny, ironically, I am an English major. So you think my grammar and pronunciation of words would be spot on, but that would be incorrect. That would be very incorrect. We are going to maybe see the initial Katarina ban. Yep, Katarina coming out from UMW, first ban, and the Galio as well, immediately shutting down UMW's mid laner as well. That's big. That's important. The Lulu coming out as well. I believe we're also going to maybe see the Nocturne, the Udyr going away, and there's a Kali Nautilus as well. This looks very similar. Immediate Amumu pick for UMW, but that does mean we left Nocturne open for TAM USA. I'm going to start saying it right now. Don't worry. Students from TAM USA, do y'all still want me to say Tamusa or say it right? They are still gonna secure the Jinx and the Nocturne, but it does look like UMW is going to choose maybe the Smolder.
I would be so excited. I'm back from the stretch. I'm back from the water break. And honestly, what a better time than to check out some of our cameras. Looks like a few of them are not working correctly. That is okay. Drew is only going to hate me for that later on. But thankfully, honestly, I'm a big fan of this draft. The simple front-to-back team fighting comp. Now, Nocturne is open, which means the lights are going to go out, and that is going to be a little bit scary depending on what the mid lane picks are.
I was not expecting to be watching a horror game tonight, but that is okay because the Seraphine pick from TAM USA coming out.
Yes.
Interesting.
Seraphine, I mean, well, so the Seraphine pick, here's the logic, guaranteed. Smolder. Okay, you're going for the 250 stacks. You want to be hitting that mid-game damage power spikes. And with the Seraphine ult, in the same way that you get executes on opponents at low HP, if a fight goes wrong and you turn that onto the Smolder, you could have the absolute machine gun of fire-breathing dragons turn on your own team.
That's true. But we are going to opt to ban the Silas. And TAM USA gonna ban both Ornn and Malphite, shutting that down. And there goes, I believe, the Kassadin, it looks like.
Yes, it does look like it is going to be a Kassadin ban. Now, if I am UMW here... Yone, honestly, you know what? I am not afraid of this single target ban towards the mid lane, especially because of the oppression that he's put on when he was able to find a lead. But if I am UMW here, I am looking for a control mage, and I would bet we might see an Orianna.
We could possibly see the Orianna, but I also believe that TAM USA is going to opt to go... See, now that I, realize that I'm saying it wrong, I'm not going to say it the old way, but there's the Shen.
Ooh,
hello, Shen.
Now, the Shen is really, really good for the reason of it can ult on top of the Nocturne turning lights out and be a one-stop delivery of not one, but two people to a lane gank of your choice.
UMW hates tanks, man. Hey, TAM USA is banning them, but we are maybe going to see the cue ball tried and true Syndra? Are we going to lock it in? Are we going to lock in Syndra?
Maybe.
Are we going to lock it? We locked it in! The Syndra for cue ball!
Is going to be cue ball on the cue ball Syndra, which means, you know what that means? We got to hit that ball into the other ones and hope that we don't hit an 8-ball.
We're playing some pool.
Absolutely.
Playing some pool today in the mid lane.
Playing some pool in the mid lane, but who are we going to play against? that ultimately is going to be a very big determinant in what this pick comes out to be from Tamusa. But for us, I think Scion
Wow.
Thomas the Dank Engine is coming out, and I will. You know what? He builds the lethality sometimes, and
Quite
I would not be
possibly.
surprised.
I would not be as well. I mean, Shen in the top lane is going to be a very oppressive threat, especially with that stun, sitting in his sword, being able to get that complete negation of all kinds of CC. So I think Sion's going to opt fully for damage in this route, especially, I mean, the Fiora top. Ooh.
Wait a
Trey
second.
Swift, you're talking about an interesting mid
Nope, it
lane
is
jungle
not.
game.
I have once again received that it was a late pick, and that Fiora is gonna be an Ari.
An
In
Ari,
the mid lane,
okay.
yes, and that is gonna be a mage versus mage. But honestly, I'm excited to see it because this would be the time when I think that we are ready for a mid lane matchup, and I want to see a solo kill. I want to see Sean puff his chest a little bit and get in there, especially early game damage with Syndra, especially after the recent item changes towards mages is strong.
That's going to be very interesting, and I just have to say, well, it's faking me out. I was interested to see the Fiora.
The Fiora mid.
I was interested, honestly, the Fiora top Shen mid.
Shen mid.
Or Fiora top Seraphine mid, Jinx Shen bot.
Shen support could have potentially come out. I don't think necessarily it's going to be an Ari support. I think we are going to have a more standard lane
I think it's
assignment.
going to be more standard.
But you never know. I would love to see. You know what? I hope one game this semester that we do have. You know, maybe on a matchup with a school that we know well. Maybe we can throw in a third funny ARAM game or something. I would love to see some non-conventional picks in non-conventional
I would
lanes.
love to see some just crazy, outlandish, nowhere picks.
The one pick I know is coming sometime this semester. I know it is, and I'm very excited for it. Is the Ziggs APC bot lane. That I know will be coming out at some point.
Ziggs APC.
So good. Yes. Ability power carry. So basically building AP rather than the AD damage that are normally
Time for some
expected.
Legal Legends. Alrighty. I can't. I there's no joke off that. That was a brick wall for me. I'm sorry.
All good, Jack. No worries there. But it does look like we are getting ready to transition over. I'm just going to make sure that we get situated here on prod side. And we are going to really quick transition back, not just to you, but also over towards game start here in the next 2 minutes and
There's the
40
game.
seconds. So Jack, gonna do some rapid fire questions towards you about League. Obviously, when did you start playing, man? How long have you been around for this?
I started playing League of Legends 8th grade.
8th grade.
8th grade is
Okay.
when I first started playing League of Legends on my dinky little Lenovo laptop. That
Gotta
was just
love
strong
it.
enough to run Overwatch at 30 frames a second.
Could you cook eggs on it? That is the next question.
If I was playing more than one game of League, I could probably sizzle some bacon.
Absolutely, gotta love to hear. And so you were definitely around then for the map cosmetic changes. Did
Yes,
you
I
ever-
was.
Yes, I don't know if any of the old viewers here in chat, the oldies, will remember, but the map got a major both cosmetic and positional overhaul that really changed the game from that circa 2000s mod-based game into the full-fledged esport that it is today.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well now I guess the other question would be, what lane is your lane and who is your favorite character?
I started as support
Okay,
and I played Morgana.
okay.
I love Morgana. For
All
those
right.
who know League of Legends, I played Morgana pre-rework. Initially off of a friend's laptop is how I got introduced.
I see.
And then I started playing Morgana post rework. And she's my goat. When she was meta in the jungle, I only played Morgana jungle.
Oh my
Because I
goodness.
love Morgana. That character is awesome.
Looks
I
like-
sometimes force her mid lane
Oh my goodness. It looks
because I
like-
love Morgana.
I was gonna say it looks like you're locking them down both on the Smash field and in League of Legends. I mean, yes, the stuns are oppressive. That is definitely a good character to go to. I have been interested to see. You know, we've seen it before, time and time again, where these, they're called basically mage supports. You know, whether it be Morgana or Lux, have kind of worked, or even Janna at one point had an AP mid lane stage.
Yeah, there was a
definitely
phase.
very, very interested to see that. But it does look like we are finally going to be transitioning in here to the game. And with that, Jack, let's go ahead and kick it over.
And we will reiterate that our Valorant team won against Penn State 2-0. For the Valorant people in chat, because I saw Honeybee earlier talking about it in the chat. For those curious, I am a KJ main, but more, if we get down the logistics of it, I am a Sentinel player.
Once again, locking it down, Jack. I'm just saying, there's a pattern
I don't know
here.
what it is. I don't know what it is.
There's a pattern.
I enjoy the only I get to have fun characters, I guess. But no, KJ, I've been playing KJ since a release, honestly.
Oh my
and then it
goodness.
slowly went from KJ Viper Jet into just full KJ Viper, and then I just kind of was like, you know what? Let me play Sentinels. I play Sentinels.
And I don't know if you or anyone else is excited to see the return of Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Oh my gosh, I almost said Doctor Strange, but that is not correct. What? Quickly correct me, Jack, as I'm blanking.
Doom.
Dr. Doom. But we have the Thanos in the top lane here on Skins with the Scion, and definitely excited to see some good zoom-in hammer downs here soon.
I started laughing. I saw Trey Swift's response. I love those characters too. ...
Oh my gosh, and look, it is a Mumu with the I'm a little teacup, short and spout. Here is my whistle, and here is my spout.
Short and stout.
Yep, that is right. Short and stout.
Short and stout. Oh, is that the penguin skin? Is that the penguin Syndra skin? I love that skin.
Let's get a little zoom in here early. Oh, actually,
no, it's not.
No,
it's the Briar.
not.
It's the Briar Rose.
Yep,
I think it's
Briar
called.
Rose. I think is gonna be. But oh, look at this quick damage traits here coming out on the top side. I do think it is gonna be really a brawl both here and towards the bot side that is gonna determine this early game.
I just want to thank really quickly Mavion and Eve Quick for following. Thank you for supporting the UMW Esports program. If you are now just joining us, it is currently 1-1 in the series. UMW were able to pull through a victory in the first game where TAM USA was able to bring an impressive game to completely shutting down UMW to make this tied game.
And oppressive.
Oppressive,
definitely.
indeed.
But here we are, game 3 in the best of 3, which means whoever takes the lead here early could potentially take home the chips.
That is very true. The taunt coming out from Shen already. Look at this damage. This is what you're afraid of with Shen. That little dome he had right there makes him able to block damage. So that is a hard shutdown against Scion, who can just obliterate a full chunk of your health in the matter of seconds, getting all the way pushed back to the top lane.
And it
right
is
here.
time for Caleb to play the farm mini game. Under tower is going to have to do his best to pick up what is the scrap remains of the wave. Are going to see most of our lanes are going to be shoved here. We'll say we are going to find ourselves in a more neutral lane state, and we are playing for that 250 stack smolder. So like I said, once again, if you need to, grab some popcorn. This is going to be at least another 30 minutes.
It looks like we're already having a bit of an engaged bot lane right here. Mitt taking a tiny bit of damage. Everyone from UMW looks a bit chunked at the moment. TAM USA wanting to play the way more aggressive playstyle, but here comes Pans sitting up top lane, backing right here, trying to help out his laner, but it doesn't look like he's gonna make much happen. Here comes the stun, the E coming out, able to do a little bit of damage. The second stun. Right
It's
there,
just really going to force him
Shen.
off the wave, but honestly, does do some job here because it's going to allow Caleb to really kind of farm with ease, make sure he's getting those last hits, and kind of reset the lane state a little bit.
He got cannon. He got cannon.
We don't miss cannons here at UMW. If someone has ever said that we miss one, they are indeed lying. We're going to look away in the moment and look back, and it is the cannon that is going to die, but thankfully it was taken.
This team is very lucky that I am not always observant watching cannons, because I did tell them every time they were to miss a cannon, that is going to be a womp womp. Mitt losing so much right there. The double back is going to cost them a lot, as we are already one plate down on our bottom turret. Nocturne it's sitting red side, kind of moving their way around, maybe looking to get an engage, maybe just looking to build up to 6 and play hard assassin style.
That is definitely the plan, Jack. We are going to be farming until 6, and then, and only then, will we look to turn out the lights, and probably around Dragon Pit, if I am assuming correctly.
Yeah, I mean, the Nocturne play style is very straightforward, but that does not mean it is easy. I mean, because you're building hard assassin, so that doesn't mean you can like have all this health. But actually, as I say that, I just remembered it's Nocturne. He can build literally however he wants and still do 20 gazillion bits of damage, I guess.
Nocturne is one of those that you could build a certain hybrid that becomes relatively annoying regardless of damage stats. Absolutely.
Map 3. Yeah. This is the third. Gosh. How cool would it be if League of Legends had like custom maps?
You know what? There have been custom skins before, and I mean, those have been interesting. I jokingly talked about Thomas the Dank Engine, the Scion skin that is your friendly and neighborhood Thomas the Train, and especially when he ults, you do hear the theme song. So I definitely think it would be worth it. Definitely something, you know what, Riot loves their cosmetics, Jack. Definitely something I think they should be interested in. We are going to see UMW go ahead and give the grubs, recognizing the lane state differences and the pushes, but should look to potentially respond here with the big stacked wave onto the bot side with an early dragon.
Waiting for map skins to come out never. I don't know. I feel like that can be explored.
Well, they've done it before.
They're
Jack.
indie game devs.
For winter, for like winter, right? They had like the snowy map. I don't know if you remember that any, but that was so cool back in the day.
Cool.
Or like the Bewitching map. Remember the Halloween exclusive? Oh my gosh, Jack, remind me if you've played. What is the game mode that where I think it was. You walked into bushes and there was a chance that there was a Garen spinning. It was a Halloween event. Way back in like, I think it was like 2015 or 16.
I don't know if I remember that.
Oh my goodness, if you haven't played it, you've got to look up what I'm talking about. It was insanely fun, and they had bots that were super, super difficult to play against.
I don't know if I remember this, but it sounds familiar. I'm sure I've seen a YouTube video or two on that.
I'll have to look it up at chat. If you know what it is in chat, please type what it is. I want to know. Oh, now this is interesting. We are going to see the RATP potentially hovering down here.
But Amumu's coming top lane, chasing down the Shen. Oh, looking for him, Tribush, but not finding it. The flash being used to get out, and Shen ult is online. That's a double TP.
Double TP, and he is spotted out there. But ultimately, it is going to be Drag. That falls. Really good macro play decisioning here on the side of TA. Oh, and it is going to beat the stun. The quick flash from Q-Ball is going to keep him alive, but not quite enough damage yet on the side of Ori to burst him down.
UMW is still keeping it up in the gold game by at least 200 right now, keeping the trades even, and they did sacrifice, what, Cloud?
Yep.
Cloud Drake right there?
Was sacrificed for the decision and kind of the macro decision. Are going to see the TP coming out of Shen here, but like I've said before, this is going to be a game of necessary evils. We're going to have to sack a few things until we get there.
Garen Death Bush, courtesy of Trey Swift.
Okay, It is the Garen Death Bush, but there was a specific game mode that was a Halloween game mode where it was like death bots or something, and it was just like you go up against a full team of enemy bots that are, and as I say that, actually I'm gonna go ahead and wait. Oh, no jungle gank, but the pressure is coming out. This is gonna bother me, so you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and look it up.
Here comes the dash out from Ari. They're able to push away as Q-Ball looks like going to be first blood possibly for this. The ult for him coming out, playing through right here and not getting found out. Here comes Shen in the top lane, opting to take a little bit of a trade.
He did a really good job of dodging some of the abilities to stay alive, but ultimately, Ari, if you are in place, you're gonna get those orbs and they're gonna do damage. Are gonna see top lane shoving out. Yet to see the lights be turned off here, Jack. Jack, if you had to put some money on it, where's the first light coming out at?
Where I think the first light is going to be down in the bot lane. I think they're going to try to find a quick assassination on either mid or not even close, because those right now seem like pretty prominent threats. The bot lane is kind of even in this like position where no one team has shown to be really like fully in control at the moment. As I say that though, Pan's getting chased down by Shen. Chunked a little bit. Here comes the stun in though, but getting stunned out by Seraphine. Here comes the big ult and not getting found out by Sion, getting stunned out of that huge Q, and Pans is going down. Jinx ult not finding anyone as...
Yes, and it is going to be not just that, but 6 grubs secured on the side of TAM.
Doom bots of Doom.
That's it. That's what it is.
Swift. Thank you, Trey Swift.
Doom Bots of Doom, the limited edition Halloween game mode within League of Legends. Gosh, I would pay for them to bring that back.
Hey, can you show items in stream? Yeah, can we get a quick tab check real quick?
Absolutely.
See
the
what
only
we
reason
are
I haven't
building?
been tabbing is because I've been so busy pondering what was the name of that bot match.
We have Sion building double belts right now, and I think Ari is on... down in the bot lane, Jinx already has first item.
Yes,
which
definitely
is
going to have a
incredibly
little bit of
scary.
that item advantage. Just so happens to be that with the lane state. Eric slowly getting closer, but honestly, the most important statistic, not necessarily the items on Eric, but it is going to be the smolder stacks. Currently sitting at 70 with the cutoff. Like I said, 240 is what we need. So we are formally a fourth away?
A third of the way there.
Third of the way? Pretty close.
Hands trying to find another gank in the top lane, really wanting to shut down this Shen, and it is just not working right now. Very, very difficult with that dash and also with the flash online. And I mean, Shen is just the shutdown character right now. And with that taunt, you're able to. It's just like once Shen gets into the team fight, it's gonna be very.
It is. Oh my gosh, some potentially good damage here. Could it be a potential fight? But no mana. Ultimately is going to force Shen hopefully to back, but Shen has used TP, which means Shen could look to potentially R, make a play somewhere else. Slowly a growing CS advantage in the top side of the map, but with secondary Drake coming up here shortly, Jack, it is going to be a skirmish.
It looks like we're going to get Hex Tech next, which is going to be really strong even for first Dragon. The Dragon after this is going to decide a lot for this game, just in terms of not only mana, but also damage overall. I'm feeling we could see Ocean again, maybe Infernal, but it's just going to have to depend.
It is going to depend, but as predicted, Shen with no TP is working his way bot side, and UMW is going to ultimately make the critical decision that still, hey, we understand we're behind, but we can afford to be a little more behind to make sure that we get the chance to be ahead.
And UMW just look like they're getting forced out of all of these objectives. They have not been able to contest a single dragon, a single void grubs. We are so close to taking that one first plate on to the side of TAM USA, but the TP coming out top from the Ahri is going to try to shut down a little bit of Chotiny, but look at how much damage.
That is the combination of being a big boy and demolition on the turret.
And just looking at chat right now, and maybe you guys can answer this for me. What is Dutch Bros? I don't think I've ever heard of Dutch Bros because someone mentioned it in chat, and I'm looking at it. I don't know if it's like an item in like, what is that?
I am not sure, but it is going to be a flashed, forced out of air. Is going to eat the rocket, but a quick heal summoner spell is going to prevent him from falling. Still defending towards the bot side and still slowly farming up.
Yeah, it does not. It is not a Virginia thing. I can ensure you that. Drive-through coffee chain. Oh, so it's kind of like Starbucks.
Kind of like a Starbucks. Definitely feeling the need for a coffee. We'll have to see how we look to defend. It is going to be an ultimate that is coming out, forcing the flash onto the Jinx. David showing pressure on the Amumu.
Just pushing through right here. We're trying to keep it as even as possible, and now with Rift Herald up, UMW have to contest one of these objectives.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely looking rough on the side of neutral objectives. Not really finding the success with the Amumu ganks that is necessary for the pick in terms of transitioning it into a gold advantage. But yes, it does look like it's going to be Rift Herald going down. Thanos, while not building the glove, is going to back and instead break the table to go buy some items.
I think it's also really important that we're not letting any of these champions get too fed. They are finding a couple openings here and there, but we're able to keep ourselves alive, healthy, and dueling every single battle. It is still only 2 elims on the side of TAM USA, so trying to make the most of what they have, but Nocturne, I think, is now at first item, slowly making our way up with now hitting 100 stacks on the Smolder, able to find an item for ourselves.
Yes, and a big
Smolder
critical
stack check. We got 104.
Yep, a critical point here of Smolder is not just the 240, but the 120. 120 also equals a damage buff. So that means not quite Thanos level taking over of fighting, but at least is an actual character on the map. So we're going to be seeing that very, very soon here within the next 5 minutes.
Smolder was one of the characters that was added when I was not playing the game as frequently. So this whole stack kind of deal is a little bit like foreign to me, and it makes sense like with Vagar and Nasus just getting another stacking character. That's all right. Just making sure we're keeping you up to date. Jojo.
Oh my goodness, and it's that Shen damage. Shen
Getting
flashing forward, potentially looking for the stun. Thinks he can find the solo kill, but is ultimately going to passively fall off. Oh, it is going to be the flash charm.
Here comes the Nocturne and the Jinx ult.
But a great E to defend the life. But
that's cue ball going down though, but I think
going to not only be dive, but Shen ulted to prevent the Ahri from dying.
They really are just working on that single target, and the stun coming out right here, trying to secure it on the Ahri, and finding the shutdown.
That is a good pickup to find, and it went to the person that needed it most. Eric with the first elimination on the board for UMW, and that will only help us to get him better in the stack situation.
Very, very important. And Showtiny is having a very difficult duel in the mid lane, because not only is Shen able to kind of pump out damage every now and then, but it's good damage, and able to shut down with a taunt and with blocked makes it very difficult for Showtiny to respond like we saw last week. And the trades he is taking are keeping that lane even. And reminder, Sion, when he's down, does not mean he's out. That passive lets him fight for just a little bit longer to possibly secure a late solo kill onto somebody, but onto maybe the Shen or someone in a team fight where we're just going to have to see. And let's see. I was right with the Ocean Drake. With the Ocean Drake call out. I was right.
That is a crazy comm from you, but I love the accuracy of it. Totally not written in the stars, but we will have to see, because this is an important Drake, okay? You can afford to give 1, you can afford to give 2, but once you get to that 3rd, the 4th one matters, especially if we're starting to talk about big bonus stacking.
That is true. We do have Scion ult, Syndra, and Milio ult if we want to make something happen, but we don't have the important ults right now. Almost back up to Smolder ult. It looks like we are just there, 10 seconds away. And we're getting closer to a Mumu ult if we do want to try to take the trade here, but it looks like the next fight is going to determine what happens for the rest of this game. I am seeing so much Drake chat in the so much Drake chat in talk in the chat. Ugh, tongue twister right there.
Very, very scary. Amumu Q goes wide, but potentially for the better. That's a one-way barred portal, and once you engage like that, there is no going back. It does look like the lights are gonna come out, and Amumu is going to fall. Jinx amped up, Dragon falling down, and we are going to be hobbling away without a jungler.
Yeah, I mean, trying to find something right there. The top lane's playing their own game. I mean, they're just having their own little trades right now. There's not
Jack,
too much that we
welcome
can
to
be doing.
Top Lane Island. You've heard of Survivor. It is here. It is the newest reality TV show, but more importantly, it's completely separate from the rest of this game.
Believe me, I don't miss it. We were only able to find one right there. Shen taking the trades right here is forcing Showtiny to go back, but still not finding the full elim. Showtiny living so.
And that is 2 defensive items on Shen.
The Sunfire.
No damage.
Sunfire and the magic boots. Got the booties.
Got the booties on indeed. And I mean, we got boots aplenty here coming out on the side of UMW, recognizing the tier 2s. Oh, it's going to be the... Oh, and it
What a
goes
dodge.
wide.
That's a crazy
good
calm.
Dodge.
I know they calmed that, so that's
Absolutely.
a great calm.
It was pinged on the map, if I do believe correctly.
Yeah, no, a lot of the time when you do talk about League of Legends, you always say it's a 5v5 game, but let's be real here. Real here. It's a 4v4, and Top just decided they want to show up.
Yep, Top decided they wanted to show up. They came to the dance without the intention of dancing. They are just sitting on the chairs, maybe having a glass of punch, but actually a whole load of punch if you really think about this, the way that this top lane is going.
Yeah. Then finding a little bit of tower aggro right there, using some of the Void Grubs maybe to take some, just that small trade, stopping Showtiny's back, and that's the entire gameplay for Shen right now. We're opting a bit more towards the top side. We do have TP, so we're able to buy and immediately get back if we so choose. We could see something Baron Pit right now. We are at 22 minutes.
Yeah,
so late game is finally upon
the map
us.
Designs looks like we are going to have a back from Smolder that is going to get a secondary item. A scary play as actually David on the Amumu is almost found. That would definitely transition into a Baron pick. Definitely very scary.
Yeah, right now, TAM USA does have the 2.6k gold lead. That is a lot. That is almost a full item if you so choose. Showtiny getting charmed right here. Double hit, electrocute proc. Here is Shen, the ult, not finding anyone but Pans. Swinging up top.
Oh, a close threading of the needle. Shen definitely has those booties on, as that was some great sidestepping by him to make sure that he wasn't found in any of that lockup chain CC.
No, we are out of Scion ult, but it does come on deck fairly quickly, and that stun could have been very crucial for UMW to find something big here. Shen trying to play really safe, get a little hit off on that turret, the sword coming back, getting a little bit of tower aggro as the grubs are able to get a little bit more damage, but TAM opting to kind of ARAM it down mid. The Smolder Ball able to clear all of those minions, and we're just still waiting for that big game-deciding team fight right now.
Yes, and I mean, one thing I will say is the increased gold difference between Syndra and Ahri, close to 50. However, item-wise, very, very similar across both.
Yeah, I mean, this is really going to come down to the mid lane, it seems, because that's where all the action has been happening. The Jinx is definitely the strongest force showing out onto TAM, where UMW, we might have our cards still hidden a bit, We might not know the entire game plan. Shen taking a big chunk of damage
But
right here.
notice, that's a good trade, actually. Shen went down more HP than the Scion here, and we are finally getting to a point where it can be an actual more of a do-si-do and not necessarily just Shen doing damage for no reason.
Yeah, and Shen, every time that sword gets recalled, gets a shield. Same thing with Scion, able to get a shield for himself, so it's not like these trades are completely one-sided. The taunt coming in, getting a little bit of tower aggro as the grubs are going to be able to come out. Both of those hits from Scion are going to get blocked, but clearing out the wave fast. Again, even footing. If we could just take a look at the items we're building, it looks like for us, the Scion is building.
A potentially very scary pick, and it is gonna be.
Oh my gosh!
Oh,
a Mumu! 20 years of CC. He was charmed, stunned, taunted, stunned, charmed,
stunned again,
ignited, slept.
Oh, and it is gonna be. Looks like the Scion is gonna have TP down, potentially still looking to fight. Dragon, not yet started, but is definitely scary. This is Dragon number 4. UMW here does look like they are going to attempt to scrap, but gosh, getting chunked out already.
Shen is solo top lane right now.
Is going to be coming forward. It is going to be a stun lock onto the Syndra, who falls first. Scion ultimately going to respawn, but not
I think that's Shen going
much,
to go
but
down.
It is going to potentially be doable.
There finally goes the Scion. Mitt trying to find
damage,
one on the
good
army.
damage.
Able to pick it up and maybe get out with the fly, but no, going nowhere. Just getting chunked down, trying to sidestep. But Per able to pick up so many right there, and that seems like seems huge for Tam. I mean, Pan's maybe gonna try to find one right here, ulting in. Not ulting in, queuing in. Seraphine able to make it out with the stuns and the lockdown.
Just not a lot of damage to follow that up, unfortunately.
So much CC.
Yes, so much CC indeed, but, you know, when we're sitting at 0-3 from a jungler's perspective, down 40 farm, and most importantly is also jungler levels 13 to 12 here is going to make a difference in how much damage Smite does. So even though David dies and unfortunately comes back to try for the dragon, really kind of in futile, your Smite just doesn't do enough.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this gold difference right now, almost a almost full 5k gold gap for Tam. This is very strong, and yeah, chat's right, Tam's eating good right now, and I don't blame them. They have so much single target shutdown and just DPS that can appear in a fraction of a second, and UMW has that too. We're just not able to find those important openings. Our Mumu, our Syndra, they're just getting hard locked down right now, and it does look like we are 30 stacks away on Smolder from full 240.
Yes, and 240 indeed will be a big determinant, probably hitting that at around the level 16 mark will be the difference. But will it be the difference from a team fight perspective? We will have to find out. Currently 4 drags, 3 turrets, and 6 grubs, and a partridge in a pear tree. We are down extensively, but we will have to see if they look to start Baron. Looks like the backs are going to be seen on cam. Will we look to challenge?
Yeah, I think you have to challenge it here, right? I mean, you can't let them take this because that's going to solidify the end of the game, possibly. But it doesn't look like our jungler is anywhere near, and no one's going to challenge Tam, get the Baron for free. UMW just seem like they are on such a back foot right now. Fighting from behind, but not out entirely. Smolder, I'm pretty sure, is full stacks, which could be good for them. But, I mean, that's Baron buff, that's Soul, that's blue buff, all for Tam. UMW doesn't have anything to respond right now.
Yeah, and it is going to definitely be a rough fight to find. David is going to be able to use a Smite and secure that Wraith, but really just a consolation prize at best for what is currently available on the map. Scion is going to be stunned. Ult is going to come out. This is going to be a fight that happens underneath the turret.
Big
Stun
lockdown and ult from
It
Cue
is going
Ball.
to be Cue Ball that finds the first. This could potentially still be fought on the back foot side, but ultimately, UMW potentially looking to take the advantage and disengage. One Baron buff down. It's going to be the reset. Potentially could TP into a ult play. We'll have to see what happens.
Big there from UMW, able to finally find the Nocturne and take him out. That's a lot of shutdown. They know the Shen's hiding there. They have the ward. They know the vision. They have a vision, and they are not out of this just yet. And I see Death OW redeeming it. Get dirty!
And go wash!
We are very much nearing the end. We are in the end game. Back to that Thanos reference we got going right now. And Cho Tiny has just been able to keep himself in this game constantly. Scion is down but never out. He is, I'm pretty sure, almost that's Sunfire. And what's that first item if I see correctly?
Sunfire and Heart Steel. Yes,
Shen.
Heart Steel slowly stealing the hearts of enemy champions. And I mean, definitely going to be a problem here in terms of keeping him alive. But ultimately, it's like I said, really, the 5 versus 5 here is when it's going to matter. All the rest of this, the slow advantage, the item games, I mean, unfortunately, like, this is just a scale off now.
Yeah.
Who gets it better? Is it going to be Jinx? Is it going to be Smolder? But the determining factor is how the fight starts. It will determine everything, Jack, and it will be determined here soon in the next minute.
Yeah, right now, I mean, this is going to be so important for UMW. Just has to play every single fight. Super important. Not get caught out. Not just you have to play almost flawlessly here. And UMW, we like to be pushing our advantage. We love to be aggressive. This is a bit of a different pace for us, having to play this way more passive play style. And Shen is sitting in that bush, and we are able to find an E onto him as, wow, Scion is huge.
Scion,
I just realized.
yeah,
Sorry.
Scion is massive. The Thanos reference was direct. Oh my goodness, the potential caught out on the Jinx. She is going to have to flash TP immediately. Is this going to be a fight that we look to take more long term, however? It is going to be the Seraphine ult with Ahri chunking in on the side. Ultimately, how will the fight go? It is going to be split off, and this could be potentially very, very dangerous on the side of UMW. Tanks are moving forward. Damage is coming out from the ADC front line, but is it enough? Cho Tiny is going to drop. Secondaries is going to drop, and ultimately the march forward, is it going to find on Cue Ball? It is with the W. Everyone down on respawns other than the support, and this could be a detrimental 40-second shove here out on the side, and this could be the game.
I think this is possibly game right here. I mean, UMW is so staggered in terms of those elims. You could get one tower and then back off. Baron buff is gone, but is that really? I think that's it. I think that's GG's.
That is going to do it.
GG's.
GG's are coming out, and really, really well played on both sides. A really good matchup all in all together, but it is going to be UMW falling 1-2 in a lengthy 2-hour set against Team Su.
Watching League of Legends is not for the faint of heart. This is a time investment, but honestly, every single one of these games was so entertaining. UMW pulled out an impressive game one and able just to pull out all the stops, surprise TAM with something that, you know, maybe they weren't expecting, but they regrouped, realized UMW, maybe some weaknesses that we don't see ourselves, and we're able to capitalize on that, really find those single target shutdowns, and secure the 2-1 victory for them. So GG's to y'all, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what else can you really say? It was a good set. It was played very, very well on both sides. I think there at the end, just a little bit too much passivity out of UMW ultimately is going to be the downfall. You know, we talk about keeping neutral state's advantage, but when you just get repositioned, when you just get caught out, it's very, very difficult to really, you know, put up a sizable defense. All in all, really good games on the sides of both half. Congratulations again. Jack, why don't you hit us with our sponsors?
Yeah, one more time with our sponsors, starting off with Sporting Next Level, taking our gamers to the next level. Local nonprofit down in downtown Fredericksburg. Please go check them out. They're a great space, very supportive of us and our esports program because they are a whole esports space. Fred Nats, our local champions, again, love baseball, probably one of my favorite professional sports. Just to watch, it's such an experience. Make sure you go check out a Fred Nats game, especially now that they are conference champions. So that's just even another reason to go see a game. And finally, Colonial Internal Medicine Associates, keeping our gamers healthy. And we're entering fall fully now, and soon to come, winter is coming. So make sure
winter
everyone
is coming and the masks are out. So make sure to get yourself, you know, the vitamin C that you need and the sleep and rest as well.
Thank you everybody so much for watching. I have been Jack Retros Yatsko, your League of Legends caster and
honestly, this has been esports coach, director of esports, head coach Nate Cad, member 4-year plus FBS coach Mark Link, back on the analyst desk for the first time in a long while. And man, am I tired. But this was a good set. Jack, thank you for casting with me. And for everybody else, we will see you come Monday with Rocket League. See you then.
Have a good one, everyone.
Have a good one.
Stand up straight now. Can't break down. Graduate now. I don't wanna be here. I don't wanna be here. It's a taste test of what I hate less. Can you die of anxiousness? I don't wanna be here. I don't wanna be here. What's about to happen? What's about to happen? I remember certain things. What I was wearing, the yellow dashes in the street. I prayed those lights would take me home. Then I heard, hey kid, get out of the road. I don't wanna be here, I don't wanna be here. Can't feel my legs, I might suffocate. There's a pressure in my chest. I don't wanna be here, I don't wanna be here. What's about to happen? What's about to happen? I remember certain things. What I was wearing, the yellow dashes in the street. I prayed those lights would take me home. Then I heard, hey kid, get out of the road.
It's a taste test of what I hate less. I don't wanna be here. Start fresh with a new year.
Once I went to hear them play at a club.